The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you alongside the Georgia Tech #1 softball fan,
Let's go.
the one and only Anthony Hardwig, who's going to be zoning
so if-
out at some point in time.
If you see me do this, or some of this, then just
Yeah.
ignore me.
Or if he does this, well, then we're and hang on a second. What's Clemson doing
Or if
here?
I just and leave.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't do that.
Bam,
Yeah. No, Anthony's
I
not
need some-
coaching
I
this
need some-
team.
I need some air.
What the heck is going on here? Throw the headphones down, and then just
Break the clipboard.
yeah. You break the what is the score over there?
1-0. Clemson's leading in the bottom of the third.
Third, and it is 7 or 9 innings.
7 for softball.
Okay, so we got a 7-inning game. This is the ACC tournament. Is this the first round or is this the second round?
Georgia Tech won yesterday against Syracuse through a no-hitter.
Okay, so this is the winner's bracket, second round, double elimination. So
Not
even
ACC, it's this one.
Yeah,
Not double elimination. These big power conferences don't do the double elimination tournament
Really?
like we're used to seeing.
Why?
No, it's just like more teams get in, but it's win or go home.
So what are we looking at? 8 teams in this conference getting in?
I think it was top 10 in the ACC, and then 3 are out.
Okay. What did you have?
Some-
The top 2
Clemson-
seeds got a
Clemson had a
bye.
bye,
Okay.
and I believe the 2 seed was Florida State, who also got a bye.
Okay. So you had the other 8 teams that played.
Georgia Tech is one of the teams that would have to play. They played yesterday.
Okay.
So they'd have to play to win it. They'd have to go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
All right. So they'd
4
have
wins
to
in
they'd
4
have to win
days.
4 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't
All right.
have a good seed. They're the 9 seed. So
Well, so everyone in
It's
the
been a rough-
conference,
it's been a rough
everyone
year.
in the conference got in.
almost. I think there were like 2 or 3 that did. I think
Okay.
like Boston College,
Oh, so they're
Virginia.
Okay, so
and-
right now they're in the Elite Eight.
And remember, Wake Forest doesn't have softball, so
Okay.
they're out of it. So not every ACC conference team
Okay,
has.
so but they have 8 teams left right now.
Yes.
Okay, and Georgia Tech obviously has to be the 8 or somewhere
They're the
near
9,
that.
and they're playing. They beat the. It was 9 versus. Oh, I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know what seed Syracuse was.
Okay.
Beat Syracuse. We're playing the 1 seed Clemson.
Okay, there you go. Notre Dame girls are
They're in it.
They're in it. Okay, did they win their first round game? Because I know they're not good enough to be a team that's on a bye.
I'd have to look.
I'm just wondering if they won or not. We do have your district semifinals set up for
For
Division 1 and
1 and
Division 4. Really, the only upset, and it's not really an upset per se. I think it's an upset based on Jackson Milton was a higher seed than Western Reserve. JM was number 9. Western Reserve was number 10. But Western Reserve knocked off Jackson Milton yesterday to advance to the Division IV district semifinals in North Jackson. So not only do they beat Jackson Milton on their home field, they're going to be playing on Jackson Milton's home field at least one more game, and if they are to win the district semifinal, they would be playing another game on Jackson Milton's field.
Okay, so there were 4 teams that had to play on day 1 of the ACC tournament. Everyone else starts off on day 2.
Okay.
Notre Dame was good enough to not have to play on the first day, so they're playing Virginia Tech.
Wow. Okay.
Today.
Interesting. I didn't think Notre Dame's softball team was that good.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
All right.
They're not like the best in the ACC.
Yeah.
I'll tell you their seed in a minute.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, so Clemson is the top seed. They're playing Georgia Tech. All right, listen, that's all well and good. Division IV, as we made mention, Western Reserve gets the victory over Jackson Milton. They're going to be in the district semifinals. Congratulations to them. McDonald is in the district semifinals as well. McDonald got a victory. Let me see here. McDonald got a victory over Louisville. There was no contest over Louisville, so they moved on as the 2 seed. Bristol was the 6. They beat Sebring, the 16 seed, 10-0. So you will have on the 17th of May at 4 o'clock, McDonald taking on Bristol. That is a 2 seed versus a 6 seed in the district semifinals. The other district semifinal, which will start at 5:30 or thereabouts, depending on how long that first game goes. The 3 seed East Canton, they defeated Mineral Ridge yesterday 6-0. The 3 seed East Canton will be playing number 10 Western Reserve, who shut out Jackson Milton 10-0. So Western Reserve will play East Canton. That is supposed to be a 5:30 start. Give or take a few minutes. Okay. Again, it just depends on the winner of or how long the McDonald-Bristol game goes.
All right, we'll get this straightened out and then we'll go right into absolute local everything.
Yes.
Okay, so the 7 through 10 seeds had to play the first day. So Georgia Tech played Syracuse in the 9-8, and NC State played North Carolina in the 7 versus 10. Everyone else gets to start on day 2.
Okay.
So Notre Dame is playing Virginia Tech. Notre Dame's the 5 seed. Virginia Tech's the 4 seed. They're playing after this game. They'll play the winner of this game.
Okay. Okay, and right now Clemson is leading Georgia Tech.
It's 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah.
All right, and this is a winner go home kind of a thing. Yep. Georgia Tech needs to pretty much win this game.
They need to win. Yeah, they need to win the tournament, or else their season's over.
Okay,
because that's what
All right. So even if they were to upset the number 1 seed, you don't think it would be enough to get an at-large berth?
I think only maybe 3 teams in the ACC are getting it.
Okay. All right. There you go. So there's your ACC update. Now we can move to the other end of Division IV, which is the Candlelight Knolls District, where Matthews shut out Southern 12-0. Matthews is the top seed in this Super-Size Me district, so they are the 1 seed getting into the district semifinals. They'll take on Badger, who blew out Bloomfield 14-0. So it'll be number 1 Matthews against number 8 Badger. That is going to be on the 17th of May. That is 4 days from today at 5 o'clock. And then on the other field at the same time, because Candlelight Knolls has multiple fields, don't you know?
Don't you know?
Brookfield, the number 4 seed, buried Lordstown 14-0. Brookfield will be playing Lisbon, who beat Chalker yesterday 8-1. So this is going to be an entertaining game. Brookfield is number 4. Lisbon is number 5. Really no upsets to speak of unless, you want to say that the 9 seed lost to the 10 seed. I mean, it's kind of sort of an upset, but it's not really a huge upset. Pretty much chalk in the districts in Division 4.
Yeah, so far, I mean, the only upset we've seen is the game that I had. Well, not in Division 4, but overall, every division. I mean, LeBray getting beat by Kirtland, that's 18 beating 12. Pretty sizable upset. Now, we'll see what we get tonight because I think there are some interesting matchups tonight in the D3 and D2 sectionals. So we'll see what we get. I think some lower-seeded teams can really cause some problems because they were underseeded.
Okay, so flipping over to Division One, the Austintown district is the only one that matters because all of our teams,
Well,
except for Louisville.
And
Louisville was in Massillon, and the
got-
defending state champs got beat in the sectional title game. So there will be a new Division One state champ in girls softball.
They ran into a buzzsaw called Green, and Green beat them 10-1.
Yeah.
So.
Was anyone envious with what is that? Envy with green or
Green with envy?
Green with envy. There we go.
Which
Yeah.
is weird because their colors aren't green.
No.
So it's
How do you call
They use
yourself
that-
green if
they
your
use
colors
that-
aren't green?
they use that awful Power G logo that I despise so
Yeah.
much.
Well.
And they're also the Bulldogs, so it makes it worse.
Oh boy. Austintown Fitch did not have much of a problem with Canton Glen Oak. They knocked them off 9-3. Fitch is the top seed in the Super Size Me district. They move on to the district semifinals. They will take on Chardon, who knocked off number 27 Twinsburg 7-0. So it'll be Fitch versus Chardon in the upper bracket. In the lower bracket, North Canton Hoover shut out Howland 6-0. North Canton Hoover is the 5 seed. They will be taking on number 10 Boardman, who defeated Menor 5-1. And I understand that Menor got to the dance a little late.
Yeah, they showed up at like 4:40.
Okay.
It's a haul from Menor
Oh,
to
absolutely
Boardman.
it is.
So understandable. So that game didn't start until about 5:30, but here in the late stages of middle May, the sun stays out a little bit longer, so we weren't anywhere close to threatening with losing time, especially the fact that both teams pitched pretty well, so it wasn't one of those games that, it took a while to get people out. So it was a pretty quick game, and we didn't have any trouble with running out of light.
There you go. Fitch will take on Chardon on May the 17th at 4 o'clock, and then immediately after that game, somewhere around 5:30, North Canton Hoover will play Boardman, and that game will be on Monday, the 17th of May. 4 o'clock is the Fitch Chardon game, 5:30 or somewhere thereabouts. North Canton Hoover taking on Boardman.
And remind those games will be at Austintown Fitch.
Yes.
Both
Yes.
of them.
Both of those games will be at Fitch High School. So there you go. Division 2 and Division 3, we have our sectional title games tonight. Let's go to Division 2 first. In the Hubbard District, we got number 1 Marlington taking on number 16 Lakeview. That's going to be at Marlington. That'll be at 5 o'clock. Number 17 Struthers will visit number 9 Girard. That's at 5 o'clock. The 2 seed Canfield will be hosting number 22 Salem, and number 7 Hubbard will be hosting number 19 Ravenna Southeast. All of those games are going to be starting at 5 o'clock. That is in the Hubbard district. In the Jefferson district, number 3 Aurora will be hosting number 21 Chagrin Falls Kenston. Number 8 Perry will be number 8 Perry will be traveling to number 5 West Branch. Number 4 Poland will be hosting number 18 Jefferson, and number 6 Mogador Field will be playing home to number 13 Chardon Notre Dame Cathedral Latin.
That's one of those games. I mean, I know it's not YSN teams, but that's one of those games where I think the Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, who's 13 seed, but we always talk about them. They play an independent schedule, and they're able to really bolster their teeth with the schedule they play. So they might be able to go in to Mogador Field and pull off that 13-6 upset.
Now, let me ask you, because of the fact that they have that independent schedule where they can really sharpen themselves, Poland is playing the winner of that game. Assuming Poland gets past Jefferson, they're playing the winner of that game. That's a tough matchup for either team is going to provide a challenge for Poland in the district semifinals.
The good thing for Poland, the way their schedule worked out, they've had a lot of time off in the last couple of weeks. I mean, they played one game last night, but before last night they had a couple of days off in the weather. So Katie McDonald should be completely fresh. They should have no problems with the fact that she's pitched almost every inning for them up to this point. I mean, she's going to be fresh for the tournament, and she's been really hard to hit when she's been pitching at her best. So that's a good news for Poland.
The game that I'm really interested in is number 8 Perry traveling to Beloit to take on West Branch, the 5 seed. Look, West Branch is the home team. They should be the favorite, but Perry's not a bad softball team. And I think this is going to be an entertaining game in its own right. And West Branch is one of those teams, when they play their A game, they may win this district if they're that good. But, getting a team to play its A game throughout the entire sectional and district tournament, that's a tall order. We'll see, but I think West Branch is more than capable of not only beating Perry, I think they're more than capable of winning this district tournament.
Jordan Anderson will be tested tonight. I mean, that Perry lineup is legit. There's no gaping holes in it, and she's a great pitcher, and she's going to have to bring her best for them to keep Perry down and be able to score.
Okay, there are 8 teams left right now in this Jefferson district. I'm going to throw these names out, and you tell me if they have a shot at getting into the regional tournament. Aurora.
Yes.
Kenston. I mean, they got to play Aurora, so it's
right. So, no, I wouldn't say it's much of a shot.
Perry.
Yes.
West Branch.
Yes. Whoever wins that game has a shot. So.
And they get to play Aurora in the in the semifinals. Poland.
Yes.
Jefferson.
The only thing they have going for them is they're playing Poland for the 3rd time this year.
Yeah.
Familiarity can breed some craziness.
Yeah.
But I don't see it.
Okay. Markovich Field.
Yeah, there's 16. They have a chance. Absolutely.
Okay. And Notre Dame Cathedral Latin.
That they have a chance because of their schedule. So.
I mean, you just mentioned 6 teams that have a legitimate chance to get out of this district tournament.
Now, some teams have better chances than others, but those 6 teams are teams that I wouldn't be surprised if they won the district.
Yeah. I mean, that's to me, speaks volumes of how good the Jefferson district really is. I mean, that's just it's going to be all kinds of fun to see that. On the flip side of things, you have the Hubbard district. Obviously, Marlington is the top seed, and they have a legit chance, more than a legit chance of winning this thing. Lakeview is 16. They're going to run into a buzzsaw tonight. I would be stunned if they beat Marlington. Struthers is the 17 seed. They're going to be taking on number 9 Girard. Did Girard beat this team twice, or was it a split this year?
They beat twice.
Okay, so
and Girard, they can play well. I mean, they beat Poland this year once. They've competed with some really good teams. Emily Rosas is a really good pitcher. As a 9 seed, they can be dangerous in that bracket.
Could they win this district?
It would be tough, but they're one of the teams that I would say have the outside chance, can be a dark horse.
Okay, Canfield is the 2. They obviously have a really good chance. Salem plays Canfield tonight. When Salem is on, they're
if Riley Troy pitches like he did in their first game at Streetsboro.
Yeah,
then they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
The question is, can she continue to do that consistently?
Yeah. And then, for my money, the dark horse in all of this is Hubbard.
Absolutely.
As the 7 seed, they play Southeast. Now, again, Hubbard may crap on themselves and lose to Southeast tonight, but I suspect Hubbard wins this game, and who knows what happens.
I can't figure Hubbard out, because Hubbard is a team that has played really well against really good teams this year, but they just haven't shown up against the top teams in the NE8 so far. They got swept by South Range. Neither game was really competitive, and they got beat 13-0 last night by Poland. So they just, they've swept West Branch. They've gotten walked off by Ursuline, walked off by Marlington, but they just haven't been able to really. I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's confidence. But when they play the top teams in the conference, so far they haven't showed up. Now they can win one. They have one more game against Poland, and I know South Range is crossing their fingers because if Poland loses, it'd be a share of the NE8 with them. But Hubbard's got one more game against Poland to really try to prove that they belong in the echelons of the NE8. And then, can you if you don't beat Southeast, the question is, can you get up for that game?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you don't beat Southeast, then
they should beat Southeast. Yeah. But
but if they don't, then they're checking out, right. And they're like, yeah, we're whatever. I mean, we'll just play out the string and go from there. But if they were to beat Southeast and get to the district, assuming it's chalk, number 7 Hubbard versus number 2 Canfield, I don't know. I mean, which Hubbard team shows up? The Hubbard team that is played exceptionally well against Ursuline, exceptionally well against the top seed Marlington, exceptionally well against West Branch? Or is it going to be the team that hasn't shown up against South Range and Poland, or at least the first game against Poland? I don't know what to think about this team.
Look, I feel like if they go into that Marlington game, if they end up meeting Marlington, they know that we had this team down. We could have beat them. We could have beat them. They walked off on us. They would be confident in that game, so I wouldn't worry about their nerves or confidence. But for some reason, their nerves and confidence gets the best of them against South Range and Poland.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see.
And the good thing is Poland didn't go into their bracket. So
no.
They don't have to see Poland again.
And it'll be fun to see if they can beat Southeast. If they can, then they'll take on the winner of Canfield and Salem. But I would say that if you're comparing the 8 teams in Hubbard to the 8 teams in the Jefferson District, there is a more variety group. It's the tournament is deeper in Jefferson.
I would think, yeah. I think Jefferson's district is a little bit deeper. But that's because 1 and 2 both went to both went to Hubbard.
Hubbard is top heavy, right, where Jefferson is very top to bottom.
It's a mixed bag,
solid, yeah. And then you go over to Division 3, and you have the LeBray district. You have number 2 South Range playing number 17 Springfield.
That is not going to be as I guarantee it'll be more competitive than 2 versus 17 would suggest.
Well, this is a rivalry game.
1, it's a rivalry. 2, Springfield has a pedigree in the district tournament. I mean, they went to the semifinals in 19. I think they won it in 18 on South Range's field over Waterloo. So these girls know how to win in district tournament games. Abby Joseph can pitch really well, and Madison Lesnack can pitch really well, so they have 2 solid arms. I think the question for Springfield is just, can they avoid the mistakes in the field or in the batter's box or in the on the base pass, because they can throw. Their arms are not the problem for Springfield. So if they show up and play a clean game against South Range, it'll be a lot closer than 2 versus 17 would suggest.
All right, so South Range is playing Springfield today at 5 o'clock. Number 13, Waterloo, is going to be home to number 18, Kirtland, who upset number 12, LeBray, 13-5.
Got to watch out for the Hornets. They had so much energy in that LeBray game. They weren't intimidated by being on the road at all. I loved watching them play because of the energy they brought. They were a fun team to watch. And teams with energy can upset people because, they scored 8 runs in 2 innings and it was over because LeBray couldn't match the energy for the rest of the game.
It would be interesting if Kirtland were to play South Range in the district semifinals, where I don't know if the rallying cry would be, this time it's going to be a little different.
Right.
It would be fun to see that, but I think Springfield, like you said, if Springfield can play an A game and have good pitching,
I think Springfield is good enough to give South Range a test.
Yeah.
I don't think this will be. I would be not surprised because South Range is really good, and they can definitely go and sweep Springfield under the rug and beat them 10-0. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a blowout, but I also would not be surprised at all if this game was 4-2, 5-3, something around there where South Range is really put in some pressure situations and has to come through with it.
Let me ask you something, because it seems to me the first inning is going to be a major obstacle for Springfield. If they're able to retire South Range, in a perfect world, up and down in order, but if they're able to get South Range out of the bottom of the first inning without any runs scored, is that a huge pick-me-up for this team? Yeah. Knowing that South Range can strike at any time? Especially
if because they'll be the away team, so if they have even if they get people on and they don't score, they have a productive top of the first, and then they go and put South Range down 1-2-3, then the South Range starts to think, and Springfield starts to get a little bit excited.
Okay. So that's the 5 o'clock game.
You want to make the favorites think.
Oh, absolutely. And I think in this game, especially when it's a 7-inning game, the longer you're hanging around, the tighter that noose gets around the favorite.
Yeah.
That's
kind of dark, but
well, no, I mean it is. I'm sorry, but it's all the pressure is on the favorite right now in these games. That's why if you can hang around, that gets a little. It gets a little hot in the kitchen if you continue to hang around and the favorite is now having to think about this.
Now the rest of that bracket also gets interesting because
absolutely.
Champion's down there. They don't play till tomorrow. Champion we don't know why.
Yeah.
But for one reason or another, they moved that game at Champion to tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Champion will play Garrettsville Garfield. Champion is the 3. Garrettsville Garfield is the 11.
The only thing I could speculate is their field still. I mean, I went there Saturday and they were supposed to play Garfield and Triway, and the field was decimated by. That was Saturday before we got all the rain on Sunday. So I know it's been a handful of days, so you wouldn't think the field was still unplayable, but I don't know. Maybe it needs repaired or something. I don't know.
All right, and the other game today at 5 o'clock, you will have Gates Mills Gilmore Academy in the Cleveland suburbs, I think southeast of Cleveland. They will be taking on Cardinal Mooney. So that should be a fun game.
6 versus 7. If that wasn't in Gilmore, then that would be on the network and it would be fun to have. But Gilmore Academy, I saw them against Ursuline. They can pitch really well. The thing, I mean, I only saw one game, but their hitting is spotty. So if I think Francis will probably start for Mooney. If she can shut that offense down and give Mooney some chances, they have some pop in that lineup. Scavina and Francis can both go yard at any time and give them automatic runs. So I think Mooney will have a solid chance to go to Gilmore and win that game. If they can stay away from the Airs. I mean, Airs just destroyed them in the game that they played Boardman on the last time I got to see them play at the Field of Dreams. It's competitive, but Mooney had 9 errors. So if you take those 9 errors away, then Mooney wins that game. It was competitive with 9 errors.
Yeah, and how many times have we said in tournament play, especially in tournament play, add up all the walks, add up all the errors, add up all the hit batters. Every one equals an out. So if you've got, 5 walks, 4 errors, and 2 hit batters, that's 11 extra base runners. That's an extra 3 2/3 innings of softball. That's way too much. If anything, you want to get those numbers down nowhere higher than 4. In a perfect world, you want to get it under 3 because that means that it's under an extra inning, which you can live with that. But if you're talking an extra 2 or an extra 3 innings, no, that's you're especially if you're playing a quality team, you can't give that quality team that many chances.
No, and it seems like in tournaments it comes back to bite you even more because the pressure is built up a little bit. So 1 error turns into 2, and then on the other side the energy gets built up and everyone's excited because it's a tournament game, so usually they capitalize on mistakes a little bit more than they would in the regular season.
Okay, in the South Range district, all of the games
Which
are
is
going to be
at
played.
YSU.
Yeah, is at YSU. It's kind of weird that they have it listed as
It's in
South Range
Canfield,
district,
yeah.
but it's actually going to be the games are going to be played at Farmers National Bank Field. However, today's game with Ursuline won't be at Farmers National Bank Field. That's because Farmers National Bank Field is being used right now.
By the way, Youngstown State, Robert Morris, no score at the bottom of the second.
Yeah.
That first game of the Horizon.
We're going to keep that updated because the YSU lady or the softball team, the YSU Penguins, are hosting the Horizon League.
This is a rough draw. I mean, the Penguins, they split with Robert Morris in the regular season, so not exactly a gimme 1-4 matchup. in the Horizon
No.
League.
This is probably the toughest draw that the Penguins could have received, and in a really, really bad scenario, if the Penguins were to lose this game,
They'd have to play tonight.
the ugly scenario would be UIC, who is the 3 seed, playing number 2 Oakland. Let's say that everything goes reverse and the 2 and the 4 both win. YSU would have to play a really good UIC team, and the loser of that game gets bounced from the tournament. That would be the worst case scenario tonight for the Penguins.
That's another tough thing about these. 4 teams get in. All the teams, 1 for even 4.
They're good.
It's a good team.
It's solid. But UIC, I mean, UIC has owned the Horizon
They
League
have.
for the last
They
few
have,
years.
and they're going to come into this tournament with some chips on their shoulder because they're usually the top dog, and now they have to. They're not hosting it for the first time in a while, and now they'll probably be a little bit motivated to kind of spoil the party.
Well, hopefully the Penguins can take care of
You win
business
today,
against
you don't have
Robert
to play
Morris.
until tomorrow, and you can come in tomorrow with that 1 win under your belt and feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
I think getting that 1 win in the 1 seed in a tournament is big because you lose tonight, and then you have all the pressure in the world tomorrow night tonight because you're the 1 seed. You're supposed to, you lose 2 in a row on 2 nights, you're
Yeah.
gone before the second day.
Not to mention the fact if you lose in the first round, you're going to have to play a second game tonight. You're going to have to play 2 more games on Friday if you want to get into the Saturday round, where you would be the lone team left with 1 loss and the team in the winner's bracket would be undefeated. Then you'd have to beat that undefeated
Right.
team 2 times. So that first game is so vitally important. We have said this in a 4-team double elimination tournament. If you lose the first game, you have to win 5 games in a row in order to win the tournament and go to the NCAA tournament. So that first game is gigantic, and the Penguins need to win that game.
Yeah, they do, and right now, it's like I said, it's 2-0. I mean, nothing, no score in the bottom of the second. The Penguins have runners on first and second with 2 outs. In fact, they just had an RBI single, so now it's 1-0 Penguins
There you go.
with first and second with 2 outs.
Okay.
The
We'll
bottom of
keep
the second.
everyone updated on that. Let's close out the Division III sectional championship games today. This game is going to be played at McCune in Canfield. Number 1 Ursuline will be hosting number 20 Grand Valley. Is this basically a prelude to a district semifinal for Ursuline? Do you see Grand Valley have any chance of knocking off the top seed?
I don't. I don't see anyone in this bracket having much of a chance because everyone went to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about this for a second. Okay, let's say Ursuline beats Grand Valley. They go to the district semifinals. Here's the opponent that they would be playing. The winner of number 14 Pie Valley and number 16 Burton Berkshire. You're not providing Ursuline much of a possibility of a game until the district championship. And according to the seed, this on paper, which nothing is permanent on paper, but certainly unless someone plays over their head, Ursuline's going to go to the district championship.
Yeah, either Ursuline would have to, come in and lay an egg, which in softball. We've seen it. It's definitely possible. But if Ursuline plays clean, then they should be no problems in this district.
Okay, there's the game that I'm looking forward to seeing. Columbiana is the 4 seed. They chose the bye to get into the district or into the sectional title game.
Co-EOAC champs, by the way, we can officially say that with the EOAC season being wrapped up.
Yes. They are going to be taking on number 9 Rootstown, and that game against United was all kinds of exciting. Rootstown knocked off United 7-5. Columbiana is going to have an interesting game against the Rovers. This is not a bad softball team, and obviously this team can hit. They scored 7 runs off of United. I don't know if Columbiana's in trouble tonight, but I think that this is going to be a competitive game.
The one thing that I always worry about with Columbiana in this year is that they're throwing a freshman pitcher who hasn't had postseason experience. Because they'll probably start Gamble in the circle. They could start Troy Long, and Troy Long is a formidable arm too. You know. Now that I'm thinking about it, they might start Troy Long, just to give Mackenzie Gamble a little bit of a entry into the tournament before they throw her in the circle. That'll be interesting to see who they start. Now that I'm really But either way, eventually Mackenzie Gamble's going to have her first tournament experience in the circle, and you just never know how that's going to go with the freshman.
Yeah, I mean, if the freshman says, "Hey, you don't know what you don't know,"
right,
then everything is cool. But if they come walking in there, all kinds of tights, then you get problems. You certainly have problems. I'm looking forward to this matchup as well. It's going to be in Crestview today at 5 o'clock. These two teams know each other. Number 8 Newton Falls, who knocked off number 10 Crestwood 5-1. Newton Falls comes into Crestview to play the Crestview Rebels. These two teams know each other, and it wouldn't surprise me if Newton Falls knocked off Crestview, although the Rebels are the higher seed, and I've been saying this for the last week or so. The bracket is set where you could see a Columbiana Crestview district semifinal showdown, which would be kind of fun to see these two teams actually play each other in a sport. But Newton Falls and Rootstown are going to have something to say about this.
Yeah, Crestview needs Caden Sutton to show up and really show out in this game, because she's been a little up and down this year. She's had games where she's looked masterful in the circle, and some games where she's been hit really hard. And that's because she's pitched a lot of the innings. You can really tell that some fatigue setting in, but Caden Sutton needs to show up in this tournament. She got them to the district championship game back in 2019. So that was against South Range. They lost in that district championship game. So I think she has the experience to do it. She definitely has been there, done that in the tournaments. So I think Caden Sutton will be okay, and it'll definitely help her cause that she knows the lineup of Newton Falls.
Is that the reason, or a good reason, why Crestview said, "Hey, let's take a bye because our pitcher's kind of tired"? And,
I think so.
And we only really have one pitcher. Although McKenna Schultz has thrown a few games for Crestview, but they've mainly gone with one pitcher. So is that the big reason why a team would say, "Hey, let's buy ourselves into the sectional title game"?
I think so. And as the season has gone on, we've seen Coach Escrow use Caden Sutton a little bit more and more, because I think he saw these games as like must win because they lost a couple games early, and he started to throw Caden Sutton a little bit more and more, because we saw McKenna Schultz come in, throw a no-hitter, towards the first half of the season, and she looked really good. But he has really leaned on Caden Sutton more and more as the season has gone on. Although Brooke Brubaker pitched a couple of days ago and pitched lights out for them as well. So they have a couple of pitchers that I think he can trust. But the question is, will he lean on them? How much will he lean on Caden Sutton? And I really hope that we see that Columbiana Crestview match.
Oh, God, that would be so much fun. And no disrespect to Newton Falls or Rootstown. The fact that these two teams don't play each other anymore in any sports, which is just a crying shame, as Anthony is either looking to fly or he's thinking someone is safe. One or the other. Looking at the Georgia Tech women's softball game against Clemson, But yeah, okay.
We just gotta in the tournaments. There's
replay.
and
Okay.
we just gotta call overturn.
There you go.
First and third, 2 outs.
I was thinking you were either ready to fly or you were like, somebody please call this girl safe.
First and third, 2 outs. Top of the 6th.
Okay, so there you go with the games that are going to be played today in the South Range District. Ursuline will be playing Grand Valley. That game will be played at McCune Park in Canfield. Pie Valley will be hosting Burton Berkshire. Columbiana is hosting Rootstown. Crestview hosting Newton Falls. All of those games will start at 5 o'clock.
Remind you, if people haven't heard, the regional for that game will also be held at Youngstown State instead of Massillon, Washington, like it was originally scheduled.
Because
I think Massillon, Washington
districts
backed out.
Yeah.
So Youngstown State stepped up and said, "Hey, we'll host it."
Yeah.
So the winners of those 2 districts will play each other at Youngstown State, along with the winners of the. I don't think the South Range and Leavittsburg districts are lined up. It's Creston and Leavittsburg.
Creston will play the Leavittsburg district, and Wellington will play the South Range district.
So that whole region will be held at YSU.
Oh, the whole region is at YSU.
All
Fantastic.
Yep.
All right, so there you go. The Region 9 will be held at YSU, so that'll be fantastic. By the way, speaking of Wellington, we can tell you that the Wellington district, number 4 Independence is the top seed in the Wellington district. They are going to be playing number 17 Doylestown Chippewa. Number 5, Northwest Salem will be playing number 10, Apple Creek Waynedale.
Independence is a really good team.
Yeah. Wellington is the number 1 seed. I beg your pardon on this one. Wellington is the number 1 seed. They will be playing number 18, Rittman. And Sheffield Brookside is the 6th seed. They'll be playing number 11, Wycliffe. Those games are today at 5 o'clock. So Independence is the top seed in the upper bracket, while Wellington is the upper seed, or is the top seed of the Super Size Me district. They're in the bottom bracket. And then in the Creston district, you have number 3 Massillon Tuslaw playing number 9 Ashland Mapleton. Number 8 Illyria Catholic playing number 12 Akron Manchester. Number 2, Creston Norwayne playing number 21, Brooklyn. Number 7, Sullivan Black River playing number 16, Navarre Fairless. So the highest seed in the...
I think that'll come down to Norwayne and, the 3 seed.
Yeah, Norwayne and the 3, Massillon Tuslaw.
Massillon Tuslaw, yeah. Those 2, I think, are head and shoulders above everyone else in that bracket. So we'll see.
Yeah, so there you go. That's... whoever comes out of the Wellington and Creston districts will be coming into Farmers National Bank Field next week for the regionals. The Wellington district winner will take on the Canfield
next
district
week we
winner.
have the districts.
The following week. I'm sorry.
Skip that.
Yeah, next week is the districts. The following week is the regionals. And next week, while the girls are playing district softball, the guys are going to be playing sectional baseball. And then the following week, when the girls are playing regional softball, the guys will be playing district baseball. So we're the guys are 1 week behind the girls.
Just like college, baseball is going to be a little bit behind softball.
Yeah.
So if you love the sport, you'll be double dipping. You'll be getting the regional matchups, and then you'll be able to look, and you'll see district matchups on the other side. So.
Yes. By the way, the North Jackson district winner will play the Candlelight Knolls Warren district winner in the first round of the regional tournaments.
Akron, Firestone Stadium.
Yes, that will be in Akron at Firestone Stadium. So you could be seeing a McDonald matchup.
McDonald.
Yeah.
In Lisbon.
Yeah, could be.
Let's go.
You might see that. And again, that's Division 4. That's the only division that is going to be having our 2 supersized districts playing each other. In Division 2, the Hubbard district winner will be playing the Akron district winner. while the Jefferson District winner is going to be playing the Canton District winner. And to let everyone know who the Canton District has, number 3 Richfield Revere is playing number 26 Beechwood. Number 6 Akron Coventry is playing number 22 Gates Mills Hawken. Number 8 Talmadge is playing number 15 Akron Springfield, not to be confused with our Springfield. I'm not going to name any names, but someone went to Akron instead of our Springfield, which was kind of hilarious. Number 4 Norton will be playing number 13 Canal Fulton Northwest. So if it comes down to on paper, Richfield Revere is the 3 seed. So they would be the highest seed in that Division 2 out of Canton.
And remember, the Akron district is also playing at Firestone Stadium, so they're going to have a lot of reps on that field.
Yeah,
because the regional is also at Firestone, and of course, all the state tournaments are going to be at Firestone.
And by the way, here are the teams that are right now playing or will be playing in Akron in the district semifinals. Number 2 Worcester Triway is playing number 21 Peninsula Woodridge. Number 20 Menor Lake Catholic will be playing number 16 Akron Hoban. Number 7 Copley will be playing number 12 CVCA Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, and number 5 Medina Buckeye will be playing number 29 Fairview Park Fairview. So Worcester Triway winning this? I mean, they're the 2 seed. You would think Worcester Triway would be the team left in that.
Yeah, I mean Worcester Triway is having arguably the best season in program history. So once again, it's a team like we talked to a couple other teams in our area. Not a lot of tournament experience because they haven't been this successful in a while. So you wonder how they're going to handle that success and that pressure that comes with being one of the top seeds. But on paper and talent-wise, they should get out of that district handedly.
Now, I'm a little confused about something because the Akron and the Canton is supersize me, but you didn't have a number 1. Was there a 3rd district in Akron?
Maybe.
Let me see. Was it LaGrange?
Keystone would probably be the 1 seed.
Keystone is LaGrange Keystone.
Yeah.
So LaGrange is actually in another region. They're in the Tiffin region, where they would play the Genoa District champion. Now, in the state tournament, would 5 play 6 in the state tournament? And if that's the case, then you would be looking at a state semifinal matchup, possibly with our Division 2 team possibly playing Keystone.
I'm excited. I hope we get some teams in Akron.
It would be nice.
I think we have a handful of teams that have a legitimate shot, and hoping that we can get some teams to go and play in Firestone Stadium for state championships.
It would be nice
because that's a great place to call and to just to watch a softball.
It's historic. I love older stadiums because of the history and the. I don't believe in ghosts, but you can argue, hey, the ghosts of
who you gonna call?
Players past are here, So
don't cross the streams.
Oh Lord, what the hell's this Stay Puft Marshmallow guy doing?
I think you're the Stay Puft Marshmallow
guy. No, I'm not that big. I'm close, but not that big. All right, 330-886-0813. Update us over here. What's the score?
It's still 1-0. Georgia Tech struck out with the bases loaded in 2 outs.
Had a golden opportunity.
It's right there. Unfortunately.
All right, so you're going into the bottom of the 6th?
It's 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, so they're trying to keep Clemson down. We'll see if they can score some runs in the
So you had your opportunity in the 6th inning to tie or go ahead, and
we have 1 hit.
Yeah, one hit. Don't do a euchre on me. 1 hit? One hit is all I got.
One hit. All of a sudden, Anthony just starts bleeping everything. And
you can't say that. Nobody's listening.
Come at me, FCC. You can't because we're on the internet. Oh, yeah, I know all about the guys at the FCC.
Oh, God. Yeah. Hopefully, Georgia Tech scores a run in the 7th inning. Otherwise, we'll have a not so happy guy in our midst. All right, 330-886-0813.
So we're gonna have to score 2 runs.
Yeah, there's your insurance run. So we will take a timeout. On the other side, we will get into some baseball. Some local baseball as well.
Yeah, we had some regular season action.
Yes, we did.
Night. Canfield got back on the field for the first time in a while, and
yes, they did.
Didn't miss a beat.
No, they did not. Although they were challenged by Howland, and I think Howland is going to challenge quite a few teams when we get tournaments started next week. We'll talk a little bit about that and other stuff. As we continue with more on this Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Klim from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and 2 of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you, alongside Anthony Hardwig. Just a reminder, this coming Wednesday, May the 19th, that's 6 days from today, the Mahoning Valley Scrappers are going to have an evening with Cocoa Crisp. That's going to be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. over at Eastwood Field. The tickets are $25. It includes food, drink, a Q&A session with the manager of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, Cocoa Crisp, an autographed photo of Cocoa, and one upper box ticket voucher. For more information on this, you can go to the website, mvscrappers.com. That's mvscrappers.com. Or you can give the Scrappers a call at 330-505-0000. And again, a reminder,
That's a number easy to remember.
Yeah, no doubt. A reminder, 1 week from Monday. 1 week from Monday, Scrappers baseball will get going. But the home opener is 1 week from Wednesday. 13 days from now will be the home opener, as the Mahoning Valley Scrappers will take on State College in the first of a brief. Actually, no, it's not even going to be a brief. Yeah, it is a brief 2-game series, and then Frederick comes into town for a weekend series.
Frederick.
Frederick. We'll call him Freddie. But no, it's Frederick.
No, it's Frederick.
Yeah.
My good sir.
The Frederick Keys, formerly of the Carolina League, they got kicked out of organized baseball, and they're now in the inaugural Major League Baseball Draft League, where I've heard through the grapevine we may have a few familiar faces on the Scrappers team.
Yeah, I mean, we knew coming in that it was going to be one of those deals where geographically placed players were going to go to the Scrappers. So if anyone local that we knew had a chance at getting drafted, they were probably going to go to the Scrappers.
There is a very, very good possibility that a player who was part of a state championship team and champion will be part of this. Pretty good chance of that happening. There is the possibility of a player from Youngstown State, or multiple players from Youngstown State for that matter. But the official rosters will be kicked out here in probably the next week or so. And
they're cutting it close. The roster are going to be announced a week, but you don't really have time to get acclimated as a team.
Well,
you just show up and you play.
And keep in mind that you're probably not going to see the completed team until the high school and college baseball season is done with.
Right.
Because, for all we know, there could be a team that is, or there could be a player that is looking to get into the draft league, but their team has either a deep run in high school baseball or a deep college baseball run where they're playing in the College World Series, whether it be junior college, D3, D2, or Division I College World Series. It just, the player will not be a part of the draft league until his season is complete.
Right.
So this is where things are going to get interesting. And while
So then, like, do you have a roster, and then the roster gets changed when that season ends, and he takes a roster spot?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, and here's the thing that's interesting about this league. You don't have a promotion. You can't be promoted anywhere here. I mean, you're going to be playing in this league. That's it. You're not a minor league player, so you're not getting promoted to another league.
Okay.
But you can play yourself out of this league, and the manager or someone, pitching coach or one of the coaches sits back and says, "Yeah, you're just not cutting the mustard here. We're going to have to let you go." Boy, that pretty much tells you are pretty much not going to have a shot at getting drafted. If you can't hang in this league, pretty good chance you're not going to be getting drafted anytime soon.
Right.
And that's that's the cruelty of sports.
It's the cruelty of baseball.
It is. It's the cruelty of any sport, but
your whole career goes down to what you do in a couple of months of this draft league.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't play very well in this league, your draft status is going to suffer a little bit. But then again, there's some kids that, if they have a really good draft league, boy, they could really improve their draft status.
Here's one thing that has been a question in my mind since these kids are going here for themselves, to promote themselves.
Yes.
How much do you think that'll affect the team and what they want to do as a team goal and winning as a team and trying to get a championship for that league?
I think that's where the manager is going to step in and say, listen, I know you guys are in this to try to improve your draft stock, but we're also wanting to win a championship here as well. It's not just about the numbers. Scouts are going to be looking. I like to say that this is...
you got to think that scouts will be looking on how you help the team as well.
Exactly. And I think that this is the NFL version of the Combine, only this is more relevant than the Combine because they're actually playing a game and not doing underwear Olympics like the Combine is.
There's no way to evaluate baseball without playing.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, okay, you throw hard, great.
Can you spot pitches?
How are you on a baseball field in competition? And that's why the beautiful part of this league is you're going to be playing a lot of games. This is going to be an extended version of a tryout, for lack of a better word, where if you're able to play in this league, I think scouts are going to look at this player and say, man, okay, not only is this player really solid, and I'm sure that the scouts are going to be talking with each manager and each of the coaches and say, what kind of a personality is he? Is he a malcontent in the clubhouse? If he's a malcontent, I don't give a crap how good of a player you are. You're just not going to be on our radar. And unfortunately, this is something, looking back on it, Major League Baseball could have used years and years and years ago. And speaking from someone who has seen their fair share of malcontents who were really good baseball players but were absolute assholes in the clubhouse, you don't get that until it's too late. And then if a player goes through your farm system, but then you have to, well, okay, he's a great player on the field, off the field, a little rigid, doesn't really get along with very many people, but you got to put up with that crap in order for him to, he'll give you some stuff, but you got to put up with this kind of crap. Now with this draft league, you can get rid of those players and say, this sport is not going to be for you long term. We don't want any part of you because you're a pain in the backside to deal with, and your social skills are crap, and your willingness to get along with people is crap. We don't care if you're a talented player. and I'm sure the scouts are going to look at that, and they'll probably have all kinds of conversations in our case with Coco and the coaching staff. Say, what is this kid like in the clubhouse? And that's where I think you're going to have that other part of the game is going to have to be just as important as what you do on the field.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting to see how much invested these scouts are into this league and how much they really. I mean, the scary thing is if they just kind of go, well, this is just kind of a throwaway league. You know, we're looking at these people. We're not really looking. You know, or they have their minds made up before the game. Like this, we're going after this kid.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things you wonder about. How much cachet this league has among the scouts in Major League Baseball.
I think that this league is brand new. Yeah, I think this league is going to have a lot of cachet. I think it will. I think that scouting now has become a whole lot different than what it used to be. I mean, what it used to be, guys were beaten in the back bushes of high schools and whatnot, and you didn't have the internet. Well, I mean, you didn't have the internet. You didn't have all the other stuff.
And he's throwing really good.
Yeah, and they'll go to games. I mean, you would see a scout go to a high school game or go to a summer league game.
DJ was at the Crestview. Escaped my mind who Crestview was playing, but there was a guy from the Rockies there watching the players.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think it was Crestview versus JFK.
Okay, all right.
There's a scout watching. I'm not interested in seniors because obviously that's not what he was there to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
There was this radar gun, and hey, people still come out to high school.
Absolutely, they do, especially if they're in this area. You owe it to yourself to do that. And in that scouts case, I'm not interested in looking at the seniors. I'm interested in the sophomores, the juniors. What any of these kids bring anything to the table? I got to do my due diligence. I mean, there are scouts that every team has a scout from every region of the United States. And I would be willing to bet there are going to be a lot of scouts on a nightly basis coming to each of the ballparks in the Major League Baseball Draft League, and they're going to be looking at some of these kids, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. And as we get closer and closer to the Major League Baseball Draft, I think you will see farm directors coming into town to look at one or two kids that they might have a really good interest in. So this could be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, 1 week from Monday is the start of the Major League Baseball Draft League. The Scrappers will be in Morgantown, West Virginia, 1 week from Monday, taking on the West Virginia Black Bears. And then 13 days from now, the Scrappers will be home to State College for the home opener of the 2021 Major League Baseball Draft League. And again, there is a chance we could be seeing some local kids on the roster when we open up this season.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, there's a really good chance. All right, speaking of baseball, we made mention of Canfield. The Cardinals are still undefeated. A little bit of pitching, a little bit of defense, a little bit of timely hitting. Canfield knocks off Howland 4-2. This was an exciting game. Canfield, 2 errors in the field. That's something you don't see very often. But Canfield finds a way to get it done, and they're still unbeaten.
And Giuliano wasn't in the box score, so he must have not have played for them, which is a big player missing. So to win a league game, it's a very good Howland team, -1 player. Biocheese pitched really well. They didn't miss a beat after that little break that they had because of COVID-19.
Yeah, they go to 16-0 on the campaign, and I'll be curious to see how many games Canfield plays between now and the end of the week. I mean, there's 3 days left at the end of the week. Do you play 3 games, or do you play 2 more games and then call it a regular season and then go into the tournaments? I don't know how Canfield's going to do this.
I know they have, well, at least on their game changer, they have a South Range game coming up pretty soon.
That would be an entertaining game to say the least.
See what the date is for that real quick.
And while you're doing that, Salem beat West Branch 4-0. Lane Rhodes was effectively wild.
But
yeah,
no.
He gave up no runs.
Doesn't matter if you hit that no.
No hits. He walked 7. He struck out 7. Salem also committed 5 errors in the ball game. So 12 free base runners. It really didn't harm Salem all that much. They scored their runs in the bottom of the first inning. Wilms with 4 RBIs on the day, and Salem gets their 20th victory of the campaign as they defeat West Branch 4-0. South Range gets a victory, their 17th of the campaign. They shut out Lakeview yesterday 10-0. Skirpack, 7 punch-outs, no walks, 2 hit shutout. He also delivered with 2 hits. Aiden English had 2 hits as well. Skirpack drove in 4. Yeah, I mean, you might as well have driven the bus, but they were home, so you didn't have to drive the bus. Western Reserve knocked off Lowellville 7-6. They walk them off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Western Reserve gets their 12th victory of the season. Cardinal Mooney shuts out Newton Falls 10-0. A 1-hitter for Ethan Shaw. 13 punch-outs for Ethan Shaw in 6 innings. No walks. So a solid job by Ethan Shaw. 1-hit shutout.
Man, he's been impressive this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's headed to college in the Carolinas, I want to say. Somewhere a Division I school somewhere in the Carolinas is where Ethan is headed. This game took 11 innings to play, but Poland was able to knock off Hubbard. I'm surprised they were able to get 11 innings in, being that there's no lights in Poland.
Walk off. Hubbard walked Poland off 2 nights ago, and then Poland returned the favor last night with a walk-off of their own.
Yeah, they scored a run in the bottom of the 11th inning to beat Hubbard 10-9. Matthews gets their 16th victory of this season. They pound Bristol 8-1, and Waterloo knocked off Mineral Ridge 18-6. We may mention the Vikings could be a very interesting team in the tournament. I'll be very curious to see what Waterloo does in the postseason when we start the baseball tournaments next week. But Waterloo, they were able to do this in 5 innings. They scored in every inning, 1 in the first, 4 in the second, 5 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 5 more in the 5th inning for their 18 runs as they beat Mineral Ridge 18-6.
Yeah, and Mineral Ridge, one of those teams, despite that score, I know that score is really lopsided, but I think Mineral Ridge is going to be a team that's pretty dangerous in the tournament. We've seen them play really well this year, and when their one pitcher is going well, then they're going to be a team that can really make some noise, I think, in their district.
Yeah, I saw their game against Western Reserve at Eastwood on Monday, and they, if their pitching is solid, they could be a threat. They could definitely be a threat.
We talk about this in baseball. I mean, the regular season pitching stats can skew because you're playing 3, 4, or 5 games a week, and you have to throw your 3rd or 4th pitcher to start. You know, in tournaments, you just go 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So you can take those pitching stats for a little bit of a grain of salt when the tournaments come around, because if you have one really good pitcher, you can be pretty golden and make at least some noise in the tournament. If you have 2 really good pitchers, then you can really make a deep tournament run.
Yeah, and if you have 2 really good pitchers and solid defense behind them, now you're talking a serious threat to possibly get to Akron and represent the area in a state semifinal, which, again, if you can get to the state semifinals in any sport, you've done a really, really good job. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning
By the
hotline.
way, the Canfield South Range game originally scheduled for today, of course, because of the cancellations, both teams have had to replace that game with league games. So South Range is going to be at Girard for a 5-inning game, and Canfield will be at Howland to play the Tigers again.
Okay. Do they play each other? Or
I just texted Paul to see if they rescheduled that game or not.
Okay, yeah, because that'll be interesting to see if they play each other. In a perfect world, if they could play each other on a Saturday, that would be phenomenal, and I think it would help both teams out. And obviously, both teams are a strong possibility of making a very, very deep run in D2 and D3 baseball. All right, Michael Thorpe from Salem, the Salem softball coach, is going to be calling in about 16 minutes. Fred Moots, the head softball coach over at Boardman, is going to be calling in. They knocked off Menor yesterday. They're in the district semifinals. So, Coach Moots will be calling in at 2 o'clock.
Good mix. We get to talk about Coach Moots. We get to talk about a big win. And then for Coach Thorpe, we get to kind of discuss their big challenge. And they already got one upset. They have to go to Canfield. And we'll see how they're measuring up that challenge and what to expect from Salem tonight against Canfield.
Okay, I'm going to take a timeout because before the Coach Thorpe calls in, the National Football League put their schedule out yesterday.
They did.
And
the Chiefs have a rough first 5 weeks.
Yeah, and the Steelers have an incredibly rough final 4 games of the regular season.
When you've won back-to-back AFC championships, you're not going to get any. Any easy road.
You're not getting an easy road in any way, shape, or form. The Browns have a much.
Patriots.
Yeah, the Browns have a much tougher schedule than last year. Buffalo's schedule, I thought, was pretty entertaining as well. We'll see what we think of the Browns and Steelers game by game, and we'll even throw our favorite teams out there as well. But we'll take a timeout and toss that around before we bring in Coach Thorpe on the
Paul
MPB
texted
Bowl.
me, and before we go to break real quick, Paul Punson, the JV coach of South Range, says that the Canfield game versus South Range is unlikely. South Range has Fitch on Monday, tournament game on Wednesday, and they play Talmadge on Friday. So South Range has a couple other games booked, so it's probably not going to be able to reschedule that Canfield game.
All righty. Okay.
But they're playing Fitch, which is
that's not a bad team. Yeah, that's not a bad team to play. All right, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit. Stick around. It's a Thursday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
This is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your pre-owned vehicle and much more. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their pre-owned vehicle at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focused, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point. Michael Thorpe, the head softball coach of the Salem Quakers, will be calling in about 12 minutes, and we'll catch up with the Salem head softball coach. Before we do, the National Football League had their schedule announced last night. That's probably the only league that can generate all kinds of excitement and all kinds of nonsense from the fans.
Which is what, 1, 2, 3, 4 months before the season starts.
Yeah.
And they can get everyone up in a tizzy just by here's your schedule.
Yeah. Look at who we're opening up with.
And we're falling for it too because we're talking about it.
Absolutely we are.
We caught the bait. You got us.
Absolutely we are. All right, so here Cleveland and Pittsburgh will throw their schedules out. Cleveland opens up on Sunday,
Kansas City.
September the 12th at Kansas City. They'll be home to Houston, home to Chicago, at Minnesota, at the LA Chargers.
Well, that's a pretty favorable couple games after playing Kansas City.
Absolutely.
So that's what we were worried about yesterday. We said, what if they, double up and they play 2 or 3 tough games in a row? No, I think they can handle the rest of that schedule.
Houston, Chicago, and Minnesota, I think that they can win. The Chargers in LA, no.
Well, we don't know if Herbert's going to have a sophomore slump or not.
Well, that's true. Arizona at home after the Chargers. Home to Denver. Halloween, I think this is pretty cool. The orange pumpkin helmets of the Cleveland Browns will be playing at home on Halloween against their dreaded rivals from Pittsburgh, the Steelers.
Can we get the jack-o'-lantern helmets for Halloween?
I think that would be so cool.
How about that? They have to wait till Halloween to play their first division game.
Yeah, that's weird. And then they double up because they go to Cincinnati on the 7th of November, at New England, home to Detroit, at Baltimore on the 28th of November. This is a quirkiness of their schedule. At Baltimore on the 28th of November, they'll have a bye week, and they play Baltimore again coming off the bye on December the 12th.
I don't remember ever seeing a team play the same team, not in back-to-back weeks, but by the back-to-back opponent you're playing Baltimore. You just have a bye week
it's weird. They're home to Vegas, at Green Bay, at Pittsburgh, and home to Cincinnati.
Not much is going to change between that first game in Baltimore and that second game. It's just going to be, here's our best, here's your best.
Yeah.
Not much scouting going on.
Now, I think what benefits Cleveland is, while Cleveland is on a bye on December the 5th, and by the way, that bye is really late in the season.
What week is that?
December the 5th.
What week? Like what week of the season?
That would be 3, 6, 9, week 13.
That's a late bye.
Yeah, that's a real late bye. But while that's going on, Baltimore's playing at home. Baltimore's playing at Pittsburgh. So they're going to be playing a really rough and tumble game against the Steelers, and then they have to play their third straight interdivisional opponent when they make the trip to Cleveland on December the 12th. So that's a break for the Browns, but overall, I mean, it's an okay schedule.
That could really benefit Cleveland. The fact that Baltimore has to play them, then Pittsburgh, and then go back to Cleveland.
Yeah. That's a benefit for the Browns. They play in Green Bay on Christmas. They're playing them on a Saturday, which is Christmas.
Your reliable source was right.
Yeah, they were. I'll go figure. And then they play in Pittsburgh on Monday night, January the 3rd. They're playing the Steelers on Monday Night Football. And then they're back home to play the Bengals on January the 9th.
I'm happy to hear that because some reliable sources in the area are kind of shaky. So
no, well, you know.
You got some good ones.
I do have some good ones. There's, no two ways about that. Then you get the Steelers' schedule. They open up at Buffalo, which we'll see. Home to Vegas, home to Cincinnati, at Green Bay, home to Denver, home to Seattle on a Sunday night in Pittsburgh. That could be cool. You got a bye week, and then you travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. So you got 2 weeks to prepare for the Browns. That's solid. While the Browns have 10 days to prepare for the Steelers because they're playing a Thursday night game at home against Denver after their game against Arizona. The Steelers are in Pittsburgh on a Monday night against Chicago, home to Detroit, Sunday Night Football in Los Angeles against the Chargers, at Cincinnati, home to Baltimore. Thursday night, 4 days later, they're going to be at Minnesota taking on the Vikings. 10 days later, home to Tennessee, at Kansas City, home against Cleveland, at Baltimore. The last 5 games, that's brutal. That's Baltimore at home, at like Minnesota.
Just like it was last year. I mean, their end of the season last year, the stretches of games they had was just a brutal way to end the season.
Yeah, that's a tough finish to the schedule. Pittsburgh, you would think Pittsburgh.
But they have a bye week this year.
Yeah,
so
they do have a bye week. Yeah, so that's always good. The game against Buffalo. I mean, if they can win that game, you could start the season 3-0, and then you're taking on Green Bay. Now, does Aaron Rodgers play? Does Aaron Rodgers stay in Green Bay? I mean, if he doesn't, you could be looking at a 6-0 start for the Steelers if they knock off Buffalo. Now, if you lose to Buffalo,
5-1.
I think they can beat Vegas. I think they can beat Cincinnati at Green Bay. And again, if Rodgers is playing, that's probably a tough game. Home to Denver, home to Seattle. Seattle will be an interesting game.
Yeah.
And then you go to Cleveland on Halloween.
Good news for Pittsburgh in that game is Seattle has to come all the way to the East Coast to play.
Yeah.
And I'm always shaky on teams that go from West to East and vice versa. I think I don't know if the numbers back this up in the grand scheme of things when you look at teams traveling from East to West. But I feel like the home team probably wins a majority of those games over the away team.
And I'm looking to see on October the 10th where Seattle is playing their game. Seattle is Seattle off? Oh, they're playing a Thursday night game at home on the 7th against the Rams. So they're going to have 10 days to prepare for this team. Do you go to the East and make a whole week of it?
They might be able to afford to travel a little bit early to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Maybe travel here on a Thursday instead of
and think about this. I mean, I'm going to go to the 17th and see what their schedule is on the 17th. They're playing the Steelers on the 17th. So let's go to the 24th. They're actually on a Monday night at home against New Orleans on the 25th of October. So you could conceivably say, hey, let's go to the East on a Tuesday, work out somewhere, and get acclimated to the time, and go from there. I mean, it's you have plenty of time to prepare for this team because you're playing 10 days earlier against the Rams on a Thursday night in Seattle.
Right. I agree. I think as hard as it is to go from west to east, at least you're having plenty of time to prepare for it.
Yeah, because a West Coast team, if you're traveling to the East, you're losing 3 hours. You're used to playing a game at 10 o'clock in the morning when it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon over in the East. You're used to playing – well, actually, you're used to playing a game at 1 o'clock, which is 4 o'clock in the East. You're not used to playing a game at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is 10 o'clock in the West, 1 o'clock in the East. So if you're playing a 1 o'clock game in the East, your clock is not normal. Right. The one advantage that Seattle might have, this is a Sunday night game where it's not a 1 o'clock game. It's a prime time game. So, okay, you're playing 5:20 in the afternoon, which is what you would normally be playing if you're playing a home Sunday night game out west. So this isn't something that is completely out of the unordinary for Seattle, which might prove to be a little bit of a problem for the Steelers. But that first game, we'll see what the Steelers can do against the Bills. Your team opens up with Cleveland, and you got an interesting schedule.
It's a tough first 5 weeks, I'll tell you that. Tough first 5 weeks, indeed. But like I said, when you win back-to-back AFC championships, then you're not going to be given any favors by the schedule.
Yeah, and the Bills open up with Pittsburgh at home. That's a 1:00 game. They're at Miami. Week 3, they're home to Washington. Week 4, they're home to Houston. Week 5, a Sunday night affair against Kansas City in Arrowhead. Mm-hmm. Week 6 is a Monday night affair in Nashville. Or no, it's a Sunday game in Nashville, and then they'll have a bye. They're home to Miami, at Jacksonville, at the New York Jets, home to Indianapolis, Thanksgiving primetime game against New Orleans, down in New Orleans, home to New England, at Tampa, that could be entertaining, home to Carolina, at New England, home to Atlanta, home to the New York Jets. So those are the schedules for our teams. All right. We've filled up enough time. Let's talk some softball now. The head softball coach for the Salem Quakers is joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. That would be Coach Michael Thorpe. Coach Thorpe, how are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Congratulations on the victory in the opening round of the Division II tournaments, as your kids will now be playing a sectional title game against the Canfield Cardinals tonight.
Yep, yeah, we're excited to see how we match up. The ladies are ready to roll.
Before we talk about that game that you have tonight, let's talk about the win against Streetsboro going on the road. Not exactly a quick journey up to Streetsboro. It's a sizable trip. What did you see from your team? What did it take to pull out that win, and how exciting was it to see that team get the win?
It was very exciting. You know, we have a young team. Everybody kind of says that, but this time of year we were looking to hit stride, and that's exactly what we did. There was a little bit of a poise in the dugout, maturity and things like that are forming. They were really confident going into that, and they didn't let off the gas the whole game. That dugout was as loud as I've heard all year.
Riley Troy punched out 15, 12 of them in the first 5 innings. She also contributed 2 hits and scored a run. Hannah Kelm had a couple of hits. Chase Troy had an RBI double. You had 2 insurance runs in the top of the 7th inning. You had a 1-run lead. You scored 2 insurance runs in the top of the 7th inning. All in all, some great pitching, timely hitting, quality defense. Add all that up, and it spells victory.
Yeah, it was really nice to see. I mean, it started from the second pitch of the game when senior Hannah Kelm she hit a hard line drive. We ended up not scoring in the first, but that kind of set the tone, that we were coming out and going to get offensive on the day. And Riley Troy on the other side kind of led that way, and everybody had her back.
I love that a senior set the tone with a really good at bat. You said you had a young team, but you also have some senior leadership. Talk about how important they've been and how much you've leaned on the seniors that you do have to lead this team.
We couldn't be in better shape with those two. I mean, they're admired by their peers. They show up every day. They do what they're supposed to do. They represent everything it means to have a good program. And they're passing that on as they play. And in a big playoff game, both of them showed up. They really set the tone. Everybody looks up to them on that, and that experience they bring. It's pretty cool to see.
Salem head
especially being able to coach in 4 years.
Salem head softball coach Michael Thorpe joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. Anthony and I have said this a number of times. You know, Salem and West Branch, we don't get to talk that much about them, mainly because they're in a conference that is filled with teams from out of the area: Canton South, Carrollton, Minerva, Marlington. But that division that you guys are in, especially with Marlington, one of the better teams in Division II in softball. Talk about how your league has prepared your kids for a possible deep run in this tournament this year.
And we see girls that are going to be playing in college next year, every night. We're in the conference game, so that's 12 games to see. Almost half of our schedule. There's 2 or 3 girls scattered on every one of those teams that's going to be playing next year. Some of them D1 softball, D2, just playing at the next level. That's really prepared us, because I don't think we're going to see a lot better than that. I mean, I know some of these teams will match up well with them, but, we've seen, we're not going to be playing up when we play any of these teams. We have seen teams like that in our conference throughout the postseason. We'll see, run into that same thing. And to answer your question, yeah, Marlington really, I wouldn't say surprised anybody. They're good year in and year out, but they seem to kick it up an extra notch this year.
Now, all that being said, you have a big challenge coming up tonight against the 2-seed Canfield. You guys have already been on the road to win, and you're going to have to go on the road again. What's it going to take to pull off this big upset, and how excited are you guys just for the challenge and the ability to square up and be able to play Canfield on their home field?
We're very excited, and we take that little David and Goliath approach sometimes. We look around, and we all wear our Salem hats, but we look around, we see those travel helmets. I think the girls, I wouldn't say play with a chip on their shoulder, but once they start getting some confidence, they start to go after that attitude. But we've talked all year too. The number one thing is what we can do. If we do our game, we've won those games or been very competitive if we haven't. And when we don't play our game, we're always on the other end of the stick. So really, I told them, look in the mirror. It's up to us. Whatever we do, and the girls have really started to buy into that. 3 of the last 4 games they've won. We've allowed 7 runs in the last 4 games. So looking to go into Canfield, we're going to mix it up a little bit. We've done that throughout the year. A couple different things that we've done in some other games, and looking to stay competitive. And I think the longer we're competitive, the more the pressure goes the other way.
Michael Thorpe, the head softball coach at Salem, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. You have spoken about if we play Salem softball, we should be able to take care of business. Define what Salem softball is, Coach.
It's being unafraid. We talk about that travel stuff, but basically they got to get that same mentality that we're playing the game as hard as we can. We're not afraid to make mistakes, and we're just as good as you. And when they buy into that, we can beat anybody, compete with anybody. And that's where we're at right now. So I have no doubt that tonight they're going to bring everything they got. Wherever it lays, it lays. But they're going to be aggressive. We stole 94 bases now, I believe, on the season. That's legit steals. That's not pass balls, wild pitches, or anything else. Sometimes it gets skewed in there. We've been aggressive. We've been caught 6 times out of those 94 stolen bases. So, we're laying down some bunts, doing some squeeze things here and there, a little bit of first and third, a couple other little things. We've learned a lot about the little things. Now they have to have the confidence to match up. And I said, as we get through later in the season, I really like where we're trending.
I imagine with all that being said, you go in tonight and you have to be the ultra aggressor because you really got nothing to lose. Canfield has to come in with all the pressure because they're the 2 seed. So I imagine the game plan tonight is just to be super aggressive and leave everything you got out there and play like there is no tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's really up to them. I told them, we all put the uniforms on the same way. So head out there and give it all you got, and don't regret not doing that.
Let's talk about Riley Troy a little bit more. We talked about how well she pitched against Streetsboro. What was working for her so well in the circle that night? And what do you expect her to bring tonight? Do you in the same energy? And if she pitches like that, I imagine you think your chances are really good.
Yeah, I like our chances. She threw the same pitch every pitch. and that was the first time we've done that since probably about 5-6 years ago when we've done something like that. But she was on with her one pitch or two seam in and out, and she had to move in 2 different directions. And when it isn't broke, you don't fix it. She stayed on that pitch, and she'll laugh about it because I told her even a caveman could have called the pitches. Maybe one did. I don't know.
Hey, well, if you get yourself in a Geico commercial, you could make some serious money as the caveman on that product. Michael,
that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
Michael Thorpe, the head softball coach of the Salem Quakers, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What does Canfield bring to the table that could be a challenge for your kids tonight, Coach?
Well, I know a lot of those players from the travel world coaching, against them at different levels. They're going to bring a lot of experience. They're going to be confident. They're not going to give you a lot. You're going to have to take it. We're going to press the issue and try to take it that way wherever we can. But they got a coach that knows what he's doing, and he's going to have them ready. And the players there's no doubt they're ready, and they expect to win. That's a good feeling for a program when you expect to win. And honestly, I believe we're right there too. We expect to win. So you get that kind of a matchup, that's what we're going to get from Canfield. They're not coming out taking us lightly. They know how to take care of business. They won't lay down. We're not going to sneak up on them, but they're going to know we're going to be coming every inning we can.
Coach, this is the first time we've had you on, and we love to give the head coaches the opportunity to shine a light on the assistants and their staff because we know that sometimes they don't get the credit that they deserve. So talk about your staff and the people that have helped you get to where you are today and the people that help you with this program.
I have no doubt there ain't no better staff out there. There may be a lot of good ones, and I'm sure there is, but, Eric Markovich, my assistant at varsity, it's been him and I with every varsity game. He's as loyal as they come. He's from Salem, grew up with a lot of these kids, knows some of the nuances, knows the game real well. He works side by side with me with a lot of hitting lessons in the building over there, and he knows exactly what he's doing. There's not a person that's more dedicated to a program. And then Coach Jody Hipley used to be the head coach before she took a leave. She's the JV, and she'll be there this evening. She's the JV head coach. So she knows what she's doing. I think she coached 6 years at varsity for Salem prior to when I got there. And then Kim Collian's come on the staff last year. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's involved with the rec program, travel ball, and she was a pitcher at Salem. She'll tell you a lot closer to now than later. But and then we have Kyle Gaynor, who is also with us. And Kyle's in the rec program. This is his first year. Another gentleman from Salem, grew up with the rec league, knows the kids, about the community there. And there really is truly a family. These people are loyal. We have so much fun on the buses, different things we do with one another, a lot of jokes. I'll have to show you some of those pictures another time. But we kind of make fun of each other. We have some fun, and it's all about the kids. At the end of the day, all 5 of us, it's about the kids. And we pour our heart and soul into that each and every day. And I don't think there's anybody planning on going anywhere else.
Coach, congratulations to this point on a fun year. The great part of this is you're only graduating 2 seniors, and you have a tremendous team coming back in 2022. Now that's way down the road, and you want to take care of business now. But you have to be excited about the prospects of the near future with the Salem softball program.
Absolutely. Everything they're doing this year, we had 5 freshmen in the last sectional game that got in there, 3 started. So that experience, and then you look at the sophomores who didn't have a season last year. This is big for them, and everybody. We don't have one full-time starter on both sides of the plate, if you will, that have varsity experience. So we always talk about wearing those sunglasses because the future is so bright, including now. We started a travel program, too, called the Quakes, separate from the school, of course. But we got some 12, 14U teams down there just getting introduced to that. So we look to win now and later.
Coach, best of luck to you in the game against Canfield tonight and continued success in the program.
All right, you might see us at a Dairy Queen afterwards.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
That's what I'm
All
talking
right.
about.
Get some of those dub shakes the girls are talking about. You know?
It's either celebratory ice cream that always goes really well with a win.
That's right. It always tastes better, yeah. And if you guys are there, I'll buy you one.
Yeah, there you go. We might make ourselves.
You just perked Ron's ears
Yeah,
right up.
we just might make ourselves available for that, Coach. I'm just saying.
I'm afraid when we take the bus ride in, we might see you waiting there already.
Ron's like, I've been waiting.
Yeah. I'm pointing at my wrist, going, "Hey, peanut butter parfait. Come on, let's go."
There you go. I'll hook you up. All
right, Coach. Best of luck tonight.
Hey, thanks a lot. You guys have a good one.
You too. Michael Thorpe, the head softball coach of the Salem Quakers, checking in on the MP Vivo heating and air conditioning hotline.
Buttering you up, man.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, Dairy Queen, I'll take it. I mean, it's not as good as Handles, but it's pretty damn good. I'll give you that.
No one, not even Handles, beats the Dairy Queen Oreo Blizzard. I mean, they own that. They own that territory. So even if you get cookies and cream at Handles, it doesn't come up to par with
I'll
Dairy
give you
Queen's
that.
Oreo Blizzard.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
They own the rights to it.
I love their peanut butter parfait. I mean, that's just
Parfait.
You're talking about vanilla ice cream, hot fudge, and then you put some peanuts all over it. That's a really tasty treat. Now, unfortunately, it's also going to put some pounds on you. But
I don't like nuts. No nuts. No peanuts. No.
Yeah, I love peanuts. That's some good eats right there.
What is it? Cold treats, good eats.
Hot treats.
Hot eats, cold treats.
Hot eats, cold treats. There you go. Good food over there. They make onion rings. Perfect. The rings over at Dairy Queen. Oh my God, they're so good. Really tasty. All right, now I'm gonna think about this.
Making yourself hungry.
Now I'm gonna think about this for the rest of the freaking day. Good Lord. All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business.
Youngstown State is 3 outs away from advancing to the second round of the Horizon League tournament. They lead 7-0 going to the top of the seventh.
Nice. That's it took a while for them to get the wheels running, but
taking care of business.
Yeah, the wheels on the bus went round and round after a while, and that's good. So, barring a complete disaster, Youngstown State is going to be heading into a game tomorrow. So, and the other good news about this is, if you win your first round game, you're not playing until tomorrow.
Yeah, and you'll play tomorrow at noon.
Yeah.
And then if you win that game, you're not playing until Saturday.
Exactly. So, Youngstown State 3 outs away from advancing into the winner's bracket, where they will join the winner of the Oakland UIC game,
which is 30 minutes after this.
Yes. So, Farmers National Bank Field is
Robert Morris gonna have to bounce back and win tonight at 6 if they want to stay alive in the tournament.
And again, they would play the loser of the UIC Oakland game. He'd play the loser of that game. So, we'll see what happens. But hopefully the Penguins go and move on to play tomorrow at 12 noon.
I'll tell you what, then back to our softball, I did not know that Salem had that kind of stolen base numbers.
That's pretty solid.
That can cause some serious problems in the tournament.
Okay, now you got to help me.
Canfield already feels pressure.
Yeah.
You have 94 stolen bases on the year, which is a lot, and you've only been caught 6 times.
Yeah.
Man, if Salem gets on base and they can really, force the hand of the defense of Canfield, they're kids. They can make errors like crazy if they're rushed because they know how fast Salem is. So I think if the Quakers can avoid strikeouts, put a lot of balls in play, and put some pressure on that infield, they might have a legitimate shot.
All right, help me out with the stolen base. You can't steal a base with a leadoff. No, you have to stay on the base.
You can't leave until the pitch leaves the hand.
Okay, but you have to have 1 foot on the base, and once the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, you can take off.
Right. Because if they let people lead off, it would be impossible.
It would be impossible. I mean, unless you're the female version of Yadier Molina. Yeah, I'll catch it from your knees. Well, where the hell did that come from?
Gotcha. I thought you were going to talk about, like, because of his speed, running. But you were talking about the catcher.
No, I'm talking about the catcher throwing a bazooka down to second
if you have the
base.
speed of Yadier Molina, you're going to get thrown out even if you have a leadoff.
Yeah.
And if you have the arm of Yadier Molina, you're going to get pegged in even if you have a leadoff.
Yeah. So now that he brought that up, that makes things a little interesting. I mean, if he's talking about pushing the pedal to the metal this whole game, wouldn't you think that the base stealing would be part of it? I mean, if they've stolen 94 bags in 16 games? How many games have they played? Now I got to look back into our notes. You're talking about. What about 21 games? That's almost 5 steals a game.
Right.
I mean, if you're planning on doing that.
And to do all that and only be caught 6 times.
That's. Boy, you could really create some havoc on the diamond and make things quite entertaining if they can get some base runners. Now, getting base runners against Canfield that's going to be a challenge because Canfield has a really good pitching staff.
I guarantee that the Canfield coaching staff knows those numbers and the players know those numbers. And like I said, you put balls in play, that might make that infield a little more tight because they realize they have to make a perfect throw or they have to field it perfectly to get the speed of Salem out. And you know, they're still high school age kids. When they're tight, they're going to make some mistakes. So.
Yeah, and you brought up something. It's not just speed on the bases. It's speed getting out of the batter's box and motoring up the first base line. So, you know, a ground ball, and it may not even be a hard hit ground ball. It could be one of those softly hit ground balls that could be trouble. You get a kid that has some speed running up the first base line, you can get an infield single.
It works really well in softball if you have the speed to do it. Get on top of the ball and jam it right into the ground and get that high hop. By the time the infielder gets it, there's no throw.
Yeah.
I mean, there are hitters in college softball that make a living out of driving the ball hard into the ground and just getting to first on that high bounce.
Do they use home plate? Because that used to be called the Baltimore chop, where a player would
Isn't that
hit
foul
the ball.
if it hits home?
No.
No.
If it lands in fair territory, it's not.
That would be...
So they would slam the ball. It wouldn't be doing it on purpose, but you hit the ball and the ball comes off the bottom part of the barrel, bounces off the plate, and a high bounce off the plate, landing in fair territory, where the infielders are just stuck going, there's nothing we can do about this.
Right on cue, someone did it in the Youngstown State game. So it's funny how the universe works. So, hey, here's a slapper hitting the ball right into the ground.
From Robert Morris?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a fielder's choice. The Penguins got the out at second. So they have Robert Morris has a runner on first with 1 out.
All right. And the Penguins are up 7-0.
7-0.
2 outs away from moving on into the winner's bracket in the Horizon League tournament. And if they win, 2 victories away from winning the Horizon League championship. 2 consecutive victories away from winning the Horizon League championship and going into the NCAA tournament. Speaking of, the YSU women's golf program went to the NCAA regional tournament in Columbus. Not exactly the finish that we wanted. The Penguins were nowhere near the top 6, but like the bowling team, a solid effort. I think the bowling team got a whole lot further than the golf team. But anytime you get into the NCAA tournament, bravo.
And, you know, the golf regional, it's a little bit, you know, I looked at the teams in there and it was like, oh, that's a tall mountain to climb for Youngstown State. I mean, Kentucky was in it, Washington was in it, Georgia was in it. A lot of big-name schools in that region. And I was like, oh, Ohio State, of course, was in it. You know, so to get in the top 6, it would have been a high mountain to climb.
Yeah. Now, congratulations, even though they're not part of our family yet. Kent State got into the top 6.
There you go.
Which, congratulations. That's a phenomenal story. And
I love
they
that you said yet.
Yeah, yes.
We're coming for you.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Kent State. And you too, Akron.
Every day, Ron asks, "What are we doing today, Ant?" And I go, "We're doing what we're doing every day, Ron. We're taking over the world." He's Pinky, I'm the brain.
I can't be the brain.
No.
You don't have one, so you can't be the brain.
We're not the brain.
All right.
Pinky and the brain. I'm the brain.
That works.
Every day we're taking over the world.
That works, I guess. But Kent State will go to the national tournament. I think there were 4 regionals or 3 regionals. Top 6 in each region goes to the national tournaments.
Right.
So Kent State is going to be in the national tournament as they finished in the top 6 in the Columbus Regional. So congratulations to the Kent State women's golf team.
Represent our little northeast Ohio area.
Yeah. Much like when the Kent State baseball team a few years back went to Omaha, surprised the hell out of everybody, and went to Omaha and went to the College World Series. So congratulations to the golf program. They're going to the national championship tournament, and that's pretty cool.
Last out's always hardest to get, I swear.
Yeah.
First and second, 2 outs.
That's all right.
I know, it's fine, but it's just like
Just
I wanted a clean inning,
Just pitch to contact.
Pitch
to contact, no big deal. And if she hits a 3-run homer, no big deal. The bases are clear, and there's no biggie. Champ didn't want to call in with this, but he wanted to remind you Detroit is leading Kansas City 4-0 in the 3rd inning. So he didn't want to.
Kansas City's a dumpster fire right now.
I
don't know how a team can go from playing so great to, oh my gosh, you are so terrible.
Well,
in a blink of an eye, like a switch. One day it just happened.
It happens.
It's just like, oh my word.
It happens. I mean, it's
I thought 2 nights ago we were going to snap out of it because we came back from 7-0 and tied the game at 7, and then we just at the bottom of the night.
What was that again? I don't think I've ever heard you say something
bottom
like
of the ninth,
that.
After getting all the way back 7-7, we just went walk off 8-7.
Oh Lordy, yeah. So
and then we got 3 hit yesterday.
That is what it is. Kansas City, they're being Kansas City.
Reality hit.
Well, it's
we're not the best team in baseball.
No,
Stop it.
no. I mean, you get off to a really nice start, but then you hit a wall and unfortunately,
it's a brick wall that knocked you unconscious.
I mean, if you decide to get up and try to run the wall over again, okay.
Still laying on the pavement.
Yeah, the referee is counted to 655, and you're still on the ground. So
Penguins win. So
there you go.
They'll play tomorrow at noon against the winner of UIC in Oakland.
All right. So the YSU getting the victory. And congratulations to the Penguins. They will go into the winner's bracket championship round. And if they win that game, then they're on easy street or close to easy street, because then you'd be the only unbeaten team in the tournament, and all you would need to do is win one more game, and the championship is yours.
Yep.
So
one more.
Yeah. So they live to. They live to fight another day, if you will. So congratulations to the YSU women for getting the job done. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We will hear from the head coach of the Boardman Spartans. Fred Moots will be calling up in just a bit. It is a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air,
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online,
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
on social media, and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you, alongside Anthony Ardwig, and we are joined by the head softball coach of the Boardman Spartans, Fred Moots. Boardman getting a victory yesterday over Mentor. Congratulations on the victory, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on, too. Sorry about my voice. It's been a little shaky here last few games, yelling into these masks every game, so bear with me.
Yeah, let me ask you about that, because you've had to deal with it all year long, and I know coaches have had to wear those things. And just like any other sport, trying to talk into a mask, practice or game time, especially game time when there's people around, it's extremely difficult to get your point across when there's so many people that are making some noise. You really have to bark your instructions out pretty loud with a mask on in order to get people to listen to you.
Yeah, it's tough, and we utilize the wristband system, with plays, our offensive plays. So it really is. It's tough, and we had a lot of fans yesterday at the game, and obviously they were loud, which was awesome. But the opposing team, they're when they're on defense, obviously they're cheering, and same thing when our girls up to bat. It does. It gets loud, and my girls are always saying, they can never hear me because, obviously with the mask on, it becomes an issue. So that's pretty much why I've lost the voice, I think, at this point, from yelling, trying to, yell as much as possible so that they do hear me. So, yeah, it's definitely tough, and, it's posed, obviously, a unique situation this year, obviously on top of all the other issues we've had to deal with COVID. Staying healthy, which was the number one thing for us as a team. Yeah, definitely, it's definitely tough, and I'll be honest, I can't wait till these mandates are lifted. I'll tell you that much.
And yesterday in that game, you got your first 2 runs without it. I mean, you had a hit, but it was without RBI hit. A wild pitch scored a run, a sac fly scored a run. How important was situational hitting, especially in the early parts of that game when both teams were trying to feel out each other's pitchers?
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I mean, we had 4 hits yesterday, you know, and as a coach, after the game, I thought, you know, it felt like more. But, you know, we went up and we watched them play the night before, and, you know, I told my group, I said, look, we have to stay disciplined against her, against the Temple girl. She gets you a 1. She always goes out of the zone, and, you know, she pretty much did the same thing yesterday. We had to be disciplined. You know, we can't chase her pitches, especially early in the count. And, you know, hey, like I always tell them, I mean, a walk's as good as anything. So, you know, we did. We've been disciplined all year long. It's one thing we do very well at the plate. We see a ball up early, we leave it up early. Same thing, we see one down, and we try to stay disciplined, and that's huge. And, you know, just utilizing every aspect of the game. Obviously, the small ball situation in the game is huge. You know, emphasize that much more even in softball. But the ability, you know, to run the bases, and we had a base running error, you know, obviously early in the game, which, you know, ultimately it could cost you. And at this point in the tournament, that one play there could be the difference. So, you know, it's something we had to, you know, obviously clean up moving into this next round.
We'll get you to talk about some of your standouts a little bit later, but one player I really want to talk about, and I was really impressed with last night, Sophia Hoffman in the bottom of the lineup. Coming into last night, she had 2 walks in the season. I mean, one of them, you know, swings away, really aggressive hitter, but she came up in a situation, I can't remember exactly what it was, but you guys needed a base runner, and she got a big walk, only her 3rd of the season, and every time I watch you guys, it feels like she's more and more improved. Just talk about her and the growth you've seen from her this season.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. That kid is one of the hardest working kids I have ever seen, hands down. You know, we had the good fortune of coaching her a few years ago in travel, and from where she was then to where she is now, it's unbelievable. It's night and day. She, you know, really dedicates the off season to working out, you know, strength and conditioning, speed and agility. You know, a few years back, she was this little young, frail girl, and now, you know, she's really added muscle and strength and speed, and, you know, she's a tough kid. And in the outfield, you know, she's the general. She's our center fielder out there, and, you know, she tracks balls extremely well. She's had some huge putouts from the outfield in some really key spots this year that, you know, early in the season against Aurora that, you know, pretty much changed the momentum of the game. It helped us, you know, sweep Aurora at the time. And, yeah, she's growing huge. And, you know, that's just it with this team. I mean, you know, we played Crestview on Monday, and, you know, it's amazing. The bottom of my lineup, I think, was, you know, 10 for 11 or something. It was unbelievable. So every game, it's someone else that steps up, you know, and you just never know. I mean, and that's the thing. When you play for each other, you know, and not worry about your own, you know, your own personal numbers and all that other stuff, you know, you can win a lot of games that way.
Fred Moots, the head softball coach of the Boardman Spartans, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. All right, so you move on into the district semifinals. You're going to be taking on a North Canton Hoover team that shut out Howland last night, 6-0. Coach, do you know anything about North Canton Hoover?
Well, the old proverbial out of the frying pan into the fire. Yeah, they're good. They're 19 or 20-4, I think, right now. You know, they have 2 Division I player commits on this team. One being their pitcher, Sydney Koosh. She's going to Robert Morris. She's a nice pitcher. You know, I've been able to see some film on her. You know, I've kind of seen some other stuff, seen some of her numbers. She has over 200 strikeouts on the season, which is unbelievably impressive. Sophia Spellman's also another Division I, going to Cleveland State. So, you know, I've been able to see a little bit. Unfortunately, we were supposed to play them last Saturday, and it got canceled. So it would have been nice to be able to play them, to be able to, you know, just kind of see. You know, obviously, Coach Goodpasture has been around the block so many years that I'm not so sure he would have tipped his hand too much, and neither would have I, obviously. But, you know, just to kind of see the general makeup of the team. But, you know, it is what it is at this point. I mean, every team left is unbelievable. So, you know, you got to go and you've got to play your best softball. And, you know what? But, you know, I believe in my group, and I got a great pitcher on my side who's just as good, and I believe in. So, you know, like I said, may not know a lot about them, but I know that they're a good, solid team, and, you know, obviously we have to come in there and, you know, play our best ball to have a shot.
Speaking about pitching, I mean, I think Maddie Lester has saved her best for the end of the season. The last couple of times I've seen her, man, she's just hitting her spots so well. She's spinning the ball so well. And she's a hot hand. Now, you have another pitcher you can trust in Kat O'Horo, who's pitched really well for you this year. So how are you going to balance as you go through this tournament, riding the hot hand of Maddie Lester, but also realizing that you can mix it up a little bit and throw Kat O'Horo in the circle if you need to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Madison has really, she's been unbelievable. She's been extremely impressive late here now. We've had some struggles this year as a team. We've had some ebbs and flows to the season where we didn't, particularly put everything together in a few games. And, that's part of the season. I mean, that's in every sport, obviously. You're going to have your highs, your lows. And at times where we didn't pitch well, we may have hit a little better, and then vice versa. So Madison is really, like you said, she saved her best for last, and she's been unbelievable. I mean, 2 games against Fitch, she was lights out, and obviously last night, again, lights out. And you're right, Kat's Kat. She's been solid all season long as well. She's put up some good numbers. She helped us beat a really good Chardon team in Canfield, who's going to play Austintown here on Monday as well. So yeah, I mean, look, even yesterday, I mean, like you said earlier, Anthony, it's never easy. I mean, we get to that top of the 7th, nobody out, bases loaded. It's like, you're looking for that first out, and you're up 5-0, but it's never safe, especially against a team like Menor, who has some really nice players over there, and hey, but guess what? If we got in trouble, I felt comfortable going to Kat, and I would have, and I would have done that. Maybe given Madison one more batter and just went to Kat, and felt comfortable about doing that, and that's what's great about being able to have, a two-headed monster and pitching in. And ultimately, nowadays, maybe 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. Now you really need them. I mean, you need, really, 2 number ones on a team. Because, it's a different game now a little bit. And, but yeah, absolutely. Both of them have been, they've been huge for us this year. And like I said, Maddie has been lights out, not only in the circle, but at the dish, too, as well. She had 2 huge 2-out base hits yesterday, RBI base hits.
Coach, you got to wait until Monday to play the district semifinals. What is the plan for keeping this team fresh from now to Monday?
Well, we play tonight. We have a conference game we have to make up. We play Warren tonight at Warren. But, and then, fortunately, but unfortunately, we have prom tomorrow night, so probably nothing tomorrow, but we will be doing some stuff this weekend. Obviously, I'm a big practice guy. Obviously, that's where you get better. You play games, but you get better in practice. So, we will be doing some stuff this weekend. Sunday, obviously, we'll keep it light. But right now they've been as focused as they've ever been. They've been playing unbelievable softball, and I'm so proud of this group because the train kind of came off the track here a little bit when things weren't going good, and we just battled through a little bit of adversity, and obviously we're trending in the right direction, and I just hope we keep that that same momentum rolling into Monday.
And Coach, I got to say, one of the biggest advantages I think you have over the other teams right now is you have the best infield I've seen this year, and hands down. I mean, whether it be Rowana at third, Alexa at short, either Kat or Maddie at second, and then Scavelli at first. And then your catcher, whether it be Weimer or Turney, both can really field their position well. Incredible defensive infield. What's it been like watching them work? We saw Kat O'Horo make the diving catch down the first base line last night. Just one of many great plays from this infield. It's got to be such a relief to have such a lockdown infield from third to first.
Man, it really is. When I took the job, it was one thing that I stressed a ton. And, you don't win these games, especially as you advance. You really don't win. You're not scoring 7-8 runs against these teams. You got to go out there. You got to put together a great defensive game plan. You got to be able to play great defense. You got to pitch well. And if you're fortunate to scrape across a couple runs against, like I said, Division I caliber pitchers, then, you want to be on the good end of that, hopefully. But if you don't take care of business defensively, you have no shot. And that's one thing we've emphasized since I've taken the job, that, look, we're going to win these games, especially late in the year, playing our best defense. and pitching. And, like I tell I tell Maddie, I tell Kat, all my pitchers, allow them to work. You don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a 10, 12 strikeout game. Those are great if they happen, but they don't have to be. Let them pound the ball into the dirt because we're going to make the plays. And she knows that, and they know that. They're confident with what's behind them. And, and you're right, it's huge. And you're right, I will stack my infield up against any team in this area because they get after it. And let me tell you, there's never a lack of effort out of any one of them. And, they're going to go hard for their pitchers and obviously every girl around them. And that's just, I'm proud of how well they've bought into a lot of hard practices where we've pounded a ton of balls at them and, we made them uncomfortable in a lot of situations, but it's obviously panning out in this entire season the way they played.
Fred Moots, the head softball coach at Boardman High School, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. This district tournament is going to be played at Austintown Fitch. This park. You've had your kids play in Austintown 2 times. Is this an advantage that you can take into this game against North Canton Hoover, knowing that the facility at Fitch is original?
Yeah, I'd say yeah. In some ways, we for whatever reason, I guess we're comfortable because we practice. We'll use our turf, our football turf. So, and we do, and that's one of the reasons why we do is because we know obviously we have a game at Fitch, so we're going to utilize the turf. But yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we are comfortable playing there. I mean, both games I thought, we played well there. I mean. It's a little different, it's a little bit more unique. Mainly when balls get into the outfield, they take some tricky bounces. You really gotta, you gotta play it smart in the outfield. The ball lands in front, you really gotta break down because if you don't, a ball could skid past you or, it ends up now you just turn a base hit into 3 bases. So it's definitely, a unique situation. But again, we've been there twice, so yeah, I would say so. I mean. Mentor actually left their own district to come down here to play in the dirt, which kind of surprised me. They play on turf, but they thought if they could get the win here, they would go to obviously to Austintown on the turf. But it's definitely an advantage. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson may have turf in the Federal League. I can't be 100% sure on that, but so I would imagine that Hoover's played there, but. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's an advantage, especially that we have recently played there, so, yeah, most definitely.
Did it take the pitchers any time to get used to pitching on the turf instead of dirt? I know the foot surface has to be a little bit different. Did it take them any time to kind of get used to it?
It's funny you say that. I actually thought it would. I thought, wow, that's maybe be the biggest issue, especially when, we threw Maddie. I thought, this could be something that, obviously she hasn't pitched on it. I mean, other than in scrimmages, and, even in the scrimmages, we put a mat out on the turf, so we're not actually, usually pitching straight from the turf. But she struck out 14 in that win, so it didn't bother her too much, I guess. So, no, you know what? As much as, I was shocked, but, that's just Madison. I mean, Madison's got ice water in her veins. She gets out there. Nothing really bothers her. She just does her thing. And, so no, it really didn't affect her. And, obviously, like I said, early in the game, that was one of my things that I was a little worried about. Maybe it's going to take her an inning or two to really settle in. But, she didn't. She went out there and did her thing.
Yeah, and one of the other things before we let you go that I want to talk about is kind of we talked about after the game, the unlucky defense of other teams that you've seen this year. You've had some miraculous catches not go your way. What's that like as a coach to know you hit the ball hard, or to know that you really got something that would be a extra base hit 9 times out of 10, but to constantly see someone make a really athletic play and rob the team of a hit?
Yeah, I got to have my field blessed or something here in the off season because we've had some real unlucky breaks at home with against Champion. We had some unlucky breaks on some balls that we hit, we smoked, and then Louisville was another game. And again, I'm not taking that away from these teams and their obviously their abilities, but we've had some real unlucky breaks. And then obviously last night in the game, early in a situation where we can score minimally a run there, that girl makes a great play. But, like, especially, I tell them, look, put a good swing on it, no matter the result. Try to hit the ball hard and try to hit the ball on the ground. Keep the ball on the ground. When you put the ball on the ground, good things happen. You put the ball in the air, generally it's lazy. It's an easy play to defend for the most part. Obviously wind can play a factor, but put the ball on the ground hard. Make them have to, make the 3 steps to the play and, and finish it. And, when you put good swings on it and sometimes it's not a good result, you don't change much. I mean, you just tell them, hey, look, sometimes it's a fickle game. We know that. I've seen girls absolutely smoke the ball for 3 or 4 games with 0 results. And, you'll have a girl out in front a bunch and she's blooping balls over the shortstop's head or second base's head. I want that girl smoking the ball. I mean, that's the swing I want. And, and most coaches that, obviously been around know the game enough. That's what they want as well.
The game has a way of evening itself out. So
It
maybe
really does,
it evens itself out when you play North Canton Hoover and all of the stuff that you've seen early in the year. It all comes back and you get paid back with interest for this district semifinal game.
Well, I hope I hope that's the case. I agree, but it really does. Most of the time it does even itself out. This is obviously a story program. I mean, you got a Hall of Fame coach up there and then Hoover and Coach Goodpasture. So, we know it's tough sledding, but we told them from the very beginning. And when I took this job, my goal isn't to come in here every year and win 20 games. My goal is to win in advance and make a run in this thing and win it. That's why like I said, we schedule. I talked to you guys earlier. We want to schedule tough. If I got into this for wins, then what's the point? I'm not here for that. No offense to coaches who don't schedule tough, but I want my girls, ready. We play Walsh Jesuit, and we play these teams like Lewiston, these teams in Hoover. We know that that's the teams we're going to see late, and we've seen them, number one, and number two, we know how far away are we from a Walsh Jesuit or this team, any in particular team you may see in the regional if you're, fortunate to advance. So, that's just it. I mean, every game from this point on is tough, but you know what? I believe in my girls. I believe in how we're playing, and, I'm confident we can go in there and get this win on Monday.
And one thing before we let you go, you talked about smoking the ball earlier. Man, Jenna Alexa has put together an incredible season at the plate. She leads your team in almost every offensive category you can lead a team in. Even though you guys get contributions from different people every night, it seems, how important is her at bat to your lineup, and especially going forward in this tournament?
I tell you right now, that kid is unreal. I mean, I have never personally seen a girl hit a ball so hard. She smokes the ball. When she squares one up, she hits the ball harder than, I think, probably Jen Lilly's the last girl I've ever seen really hit a ball, as hard as really Jenna does. And, one thing about Jenna is Jenna is hungry at the plate. She doesn't want to get up there. She's not trying to walk. She's trying to get up there and put a ball, into the stands or gap a ball. Sometimes I got to rein her back a little bit and tell her, hey, look, let's look for base hit situation here. But, listen, her numbers speak for themselves. So, as much as I want to kind of tell her at times, hey, be a little bit more patient up there, maybe, better pitch selection. The kid's hungry, and, man, can she hit the ball. And, obviously she's been a huge asset. And you see her defensively, it's unreal. She's a captain out there. She's constantly talking, constantly leading that defense out there. And she's been huge. She's a special player. She's a great kid. So I can't speak enough about all my girls, obviously. But, yeah, Jen's definitely one of the leaders on this team.
Coach, congratulations on the victory yesterday against Menor and continued success, and hopefully we get Boardman in a district championship game on Monday afternoon with a victory over North Canton
Coach,
Hoover.
We got to get Jenna a shirt that says "Rise balls are okay," because, man, she just goes out. Her hands are so quick. She gets on top of a good rise ball, and that's how she hits the ball so hard. Most players would be like, "Hey, lay off the high stuff," but man, she can get on top of one, and those are the easiest pitch to hit out if you can get on top of them. So we'll get We'll get her a T-shirt that says "Rise balls are fine."
Okay, that's good. I like that. That's great. I tell you right now, it's like the old basketball. The guy that never seen a shot he didn't like. Jenna's never seen a pitch he didn't like.
Right,
So
that's awesome.
I like that. But yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate it very much, and I appreciate you guys having me on. And thanks for everything you guys do. You guys are awesome.
All right, Coach. All the best to you.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll see you guys. Take care.
You got it. Fred Moots, the head softball coach of the Boardman Spartans.
That's the difference between a high school power hitter and someone that you know can go succeed in the college level, especially the deep college level. Because if you can hit a good rise ball with quick hands and get on top of it, then you can pretty much play anywhere, be in any lineup. And Jenna Alexa is a player that she has such quick hands. She can get on top of a rise ball, even if it's across her face, and launch it, and it's fun to watch.
That is really tough to jump on a pitch above your hands in baseball or softball. It's extremely difficult to catch up to a pitch above your hands, especially if it's a fastball or in softball case a rise ball, where it comes up. And you're doing a swing out of the strike zone. That's an art. It's something that I wouldn't necessarily want to teach kids to do. But if you're able to have a bat fast enough to put it through the zone and get good wood on the ball, okay, go ahead. Let's see what you can do here.
What high praise from Coach Moose to say that she hits the ball as hard as Jenna Lilly. I mean, Jenna Lilly had a great career in the northeastern Ohio area, went on to play at Oregon, then went on to play professionally. So very high praise. And I mean, she hits the ball hard enough to be compared to a Division I player for sure.
Yeah, that's an art. That's an art form. But again, like I said, I wouldn't recommend it because you're swinging on a pitch out of the zone and you're swinging at a pitch above your hands. That's a very difficult pitch to hit, but if you're able to do that, wow.
And like baseball, to succeed at the higher level, you have to be able to hit that pitch, because you have to make sure that the pitcher is either going to throw it high enough that you can lay off of it or not throw it, because you have to prove that you can hit it in that middle area around your face and your shoulder. So if you can prove to pitchers that you can hit their rise ball that they're putting at the top of the zone, then you make them either throw non-competitive rise balls that are easier to lay off, or you make them ditch the pitch.
How hard is it to lay off of a rise ball that is borderline above the letters?
So hard. I mean, you're coming in and you're like, okay, this is perfect, and you swing and it's over your bat. I mean, the good rise ball pitchers in college that are throwing it at 66, 67 miles an hour. Now we're seeing more and more pitchers hit 70. Which is ridiculous. It's comparable to a 100-mile-an-hour fastball in baseball. Yeah. It's really hard to catch up to. If it's flat, it's gone. But if it's not flat and you're swinging at it, you can make a lot of hitters look really silly.
How many? When we're talking about rise balls, it starts at a certain location. Where does a normal rise ball start? Does it normally start around waist?
I would say belt rise ball up to, and it rises up to, a good one rises up to maybe the shoulders.
Okay.
Belt to shoulders. And then the chase pitch, belt to eyes, belt to head.
Yeah. And you got to figure if a pitch starts on the waist, it's harder to lay off this pitch, but you got to figure, okay, here comes the rise ball. Right. I'm going to let this one go by because it's going to go above me.
You just got to see the ball down is what you got to do. I mean, you got to make sure that when you're playing a rise ball pitcher, you have to train your brain to say, if I see it at my stomach, it's going to be too high to swing at. So you got to see the ball down and try to see the ones that are going to come in this area. Those ones you can hit out of the park.
All right, so a hanging rise ball would start about thigh high?
It'd be belt high, but it just wouldn't rise enough, and it would get across the letters, and you can just take it out of the yard.
Okay, so it doesn't matter where it's always going to start somewhere around belt high.
It's about how much it rises. That's what a hanging rise ball is. One that, much like a hanging curve ball, I mean, it just doesn't have the curve. It starts at the same spot. It just doesn't go down. rise ball, if it doesn't go up and you get it at your chest, then
you can hit.
That's why a lot of batters move up in the box against a rise ball pitcher to try to catch it before it really makes that tight break up.
Much like a person looking at a curveball in baseball is going to move
The caveat
up
to
as
that
well.
is the rise ball is also the fastest pitch in the game, so you're also moving up, but you're slowing down the ability to catch up to it because, so.
Yeah, you better have a really, really quick bat in order to move up because that's a fastball. It's coming in at a pretty hard velocity because 60 miles an hour from that distance is comparable to upper 80s in a pitcher.
I would say 60 is like upper 80s, 90.
Yeah, for a pitcher in baseball.
Right.
Because the softball mound is closer.
45 and a half.
Yeah, it's closer than 60 and a half. So, a 60 mile an hour pitch is comparable to about 88, 89, 90 miles an hour in baseball.
Anyone's interested in all like the timing of soft, there's a great video on YouTube, but like Sports Science, the series that ESPN had a couple years back, they do like the breakdown comparing baseball to softball and how much the reaction time is for the infielders in softball compared to baseball, how much reaction time the batters have compared to baseball and softball. The infielders in softball have a lower reaction time to field the ball and throw to first than you do in baseball.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's a bigger field in baseball.
Right, so the speed of softball is one of the things that I think makes it incredibly fun to watch.
Yeah, and if you have an exit velocity, which I hate using this word, but if you have great bat speed,
right,
and you hit the ball on the sweet spot, yeah, you're gonna take that ball quite a ways away. And again, what would be the fence, about 200 feet, a little over 200 feet?
Probably like 230 to center, 220 down the lines. It's a good softball.
So about 225 in the alleys,
right?
Which. Yeah, if you can hit the ball hard and in the air, that could carry.
Last weekend, a Missouri kid hit a ball in Tennessee that went 310 feet. I mean,
that's not bad.
Over the scoreboard and into the railroad tracks behind the Tennessee softball stadium.
Yeah, that's not a bad get.
That's a monster shot.
Yeah, that's not a bad get.
A couple of years ago, Oklahoma hitter at the College World Series hit one like 330, like way past the bleachers in the Hall of Fame stadium.
Gotcha.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But when you catch one and you're powerful enough, you'll see that ball fly.
Yeah. All right, Youngstown State, a winner over Robert Morris today. They will play tomorrow at 12 noon against the winner of the Oakland UIC contest, which is going to be going on pretty soon. And by the end of the day, we should know who Youngstown State is going to play. Not by the end of our show, possibly by the end of Power Hour.
And there will be one team eliminated by the end of the day today because both losers play at 6.
Yeah, Robert Morris will play the loser of the Oakland UIC game. Those two teams will play. Whoever wins the game moves on. Whoever loses the game. You spent one day in Youngstown, and your time here is finished.
Pack your bags.
Yeah, pack and get out.
The winner of that game will play the loser of the winner's game, of course, tomorrow at 3.
And don't take any of our pizza. That's your unfortunate. You don't get any of our pizza. Pizzas are for winners. Or at least our
sprinkles and pizza are both for winners.
Yeah, they're both for winners. So you can't get any of our pizza. If you do, it's going to be the name brand pizza. You don't go home with our mom and pop pizzas here in Youngstown.
If you get to stay here tonight, then you get to go out and have some pizza.
There you go.
But if you don't,
if you're two and done, you can go and order name brand pizza, not the mom and pop's pizza. Go get whatever.
You have to earn your. Let's see. Mary's is probably a trek out of Youngstown. Mary's won the YSN pizza bracket though.
Mary's is good.
Mary's is a good pizza.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you could probably trek over to Struthers and catch the Elmton. It's not that bad of a trip.
Yeah. From Wedgwood,
Inner Circle.
Yeah. That's Avalon is downtown.
Uptown is pretty close to Youngstown State.
Uptown is good.
Uptown's good. You got to be careful with Uptown, though, because they use that provolone cheese and it slides off the pizza.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful, I made this mistake before. You'll take a bite, the cheese will slide right off, and the bottom of your chin gets scalded by.
Yeah, it's
hot cheese.
Yeah, it's a little different. Bellaria is really good as well.
Like my advice is when you're eating, most people grab the crust. Just grab the bag of that cheese when you grab the crust. That way it won't.
Yeah, but it's only in one place. So
right.
Yeah.
For Uptown.
Yeah, for
Great
Uptown.
pizza.
Oh gosh.
You just got to eat it a little bit differently.
Yeah, there's like I said, our area is blessed with some really, really good pizzas. That's definitely something that we know what we're doing.
Downtown, by
Avalon Downtown is phenomenal.
Has fantastic pizza, and they're our Ursuline sponsor. So
my cousin used to make the pizzas there when the Avalon was owned by my other cousin. He would make the pizzas.
Are we talking like legit cousin?
No,
or
legit cousins.
Hey, cousin.
Legit cousins. So yeah, it's good food. I love their crust. The Avalon pizza crust. Oh my God, that's good. All right, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit. It is a Thursday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy-efficient experts.
If If you're looking for a new Ford vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of new Ford models. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your new Ford. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their new Ford at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back as we continue on this Thursday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. I'm looking at the first round of the Byron Nelson, and your golfer and our good buddy Brian Tolnar's golfer. I think that they're both golfing at the exact same time right now. Zalatoris and Scheffler are both even through 4 holes. But the precedent has been set today as, who is this guy? J.J. Spawn shot a 9 under today. 9 under 63. And he is currently the clubhouse leader at the AT&T Byron Nelson, just outside of Texas. So he's 9 under. I'm trying to figure out where my guy is. I had Ryan Palmer winning this tournament. He's 5 under. He finished 5 under in the first round. He had 5 birdies, no bogeys, 5 birdies. 3 of those 5 birdies in the front 9, 2 birdies in the back 9. Shot a 5 under 67. So there you go.
Show off.
Well, I mean, he's 4 shots back. I mean, he's still he still has a ways to go. But your guy and Mr. Zalatoris are even. Scheffler has a birdie and a bogey. Birdied the second, bogeyed the fourth. Zalatoris has a bogey on the first and a birdie on the second shot. They're both on the 5th shot right now, or on the 5th hole.
Back to pizzas, and we were talking about the pizzas that you could get if you were staying in Youngstown for an extra night if you won a game today. Not if you lost.
Yeah, if you lose, you're not getting any of our really top shelf pizza.
Anytime we have any kind of event here at the office, whether it be our audible call, whether it be the draft show, the March Madness
Look into
show,
that refrigerator. There's some in there. Pizza Joe's.
Hold on.
No. There is. You wheel yourself over there.
I'm going to go get some.
And we might actually have some on the air here.
Product placement.
Because trust me when I tell you, I saw that box over there, and I'm like,
I think you saw DJ bring the box in.
No. He has there's another box that's out there. There's
don't leave
trust
pizza,
me.
Don't leave Pizza Joe's.
You don't leave Pizza Joe's around me. That's a bad decision.
Joe, you're a scholar, a gentleman and a scholar, and we love your pizza.
Yeah, well, don't leave any pizza near me. Because especially your pepperoni and sausage.
I was nervous though. In the March Madness show, I was eating pizza right next to you, and you kept leaning over a little bit. And I finished, and I had like 2 slices left. I threw one your way.
I'm just
like don't feed the animals at this. Just here you go.
It's kind of like the not the brown bear. It would be more like a white bear. It's just like looking around.
It's a Poe bear. You gonna finish that pizza there?
You gonna finish that? Yeah, it's something like that.
You're doing like the joke.
Exactly. You're just like, you gonna finish that pizza over there?
Let me just try that pepperoni.
Yeah, let me try that. This is really good.
By the way, Ron had extreme. Never reached over to grab a pizza, so. As hungry as the Poe Bear was, he at least had food etiquette.
It's not very often that I have it, but I can have food etiquette when I need to.
Because you would have been stabbed with a fork if you reached over for my pizza.
Well, you kind of look like one of those rabid animals where you're, if you try to take food off of your plate, I might get my fingers taken off.
Yeah, we'll go into the old ways where you take a bite of my feature. You are losing a finger.
Yeah,
that's the price for thievery.
That's it. It's
and if you do it again, I'll take your whole hand.
You take your the whole hand down to the wrist bone is out. That's what happened here. Well,
I tried to take one of Anthony's pieces of pizza.
Anthony didn't like
the
fact
was
that.
The first, no, that was my second offense.
Yeah, that was the second. It's I got a finger.
I didn't learn my lesson.
Yeah, got my finger taken off in the first offense. Didn't learn my lesson, so I got the whole hand taken off. And so I don't know what the third offense is. I don't want to know.
I'm taking your whole arm.
Yeah, so
and then after that, we're gonna get into something really important.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So we'll go from there. Man, that was a dark place. That's.
Oh, don't take my pizza. We'll get in the dark.
No problems. No problems. We're not going to take anybody's pizza. I'm just saying there's pizza over there.
As soon as we go off the air, it's like a race to the fridge.
No, listen. I'm gonna behave myself. I'm gonna behave myself. But I'm just saying there's a box of Pizza Joe, and I'm assuming there's pizza in that box in the refrigerator.
It's a trap.
I'm assuming.
It's a Poe Bear trap.
That's why I'm around these parts. It might very well be one of those booby traps where you open the thing up and something comes shooting out of the box and it hits me in the back or in the front of the forehead, leaves a mark for a couple of weeks.
There are 6 slices of pizza in this box. 4 of them are fine. 2 of them are laced with rat poison. Good luck, Ron.
Yeah, not going to happen. You're saying you got to get a 1 in 3 chance of not getting a rat poisoned pizza. Depends on how hungry I am. It depends on how hungry I am. I mean, it's if I'm really famished, I'm like, all right, I got 3 to 1 odds, got a 66% chance that this isn't rat poison, and then you got to do.
But then the tricky thing is we made every piece smell like rat poison.
Oh well, then I'm completely turned off because I'm not going to eat.
It's completely a blind. It tastes fine, but we've made some breakthroughs in science where the smell.
Yeah, I couldn't eat it then.
So you have to. It's a completely blind thing.
If it doesn't smell good, I'm not going to eat it.
It's like Russian roulette with pizza.
Yeah, but if it doesn't smell good, I'm not going to eat it. That's that's not going to happen.
You eat broccoli, don't you?
Hell no, I don't eat broccoli.
Do you eat Brussels sprouts?
No,
I can't.
I can't get past the smell.
I can't. Sauerkraut?
No,
I'm trying to think of. I don't like anything. I'm super picky.
Yeah.
But foods that smell awful. Beets. I don't like the smell of beets. You eat beets?
If they're pickled, I'll eat beets. But if they're not pickled, they're disgusting. I won't eat them. But no, I mean, I can't get past. If something is supposed to be really tasty, but it smells like ass, I'm not going to go anywhere near that. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
So it could be the best tasting pizza ever, but if it doesn't smell right,
yeah, I'm not going to eat it.
No, I'm not gonna eat it.
I can't do it. I can't get past the smell. Sorry, it's not going to happen. And people can sit back and go, well, this is the best chocolate I've ever had. I love chocolate. But if the chocolate doesn't smell right, I'm going to be like, no, sorry, got to pass.
Yeah, but what chocolate doesn't smell right?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's,
And that's why Ron's where he's at.
And that's why I have more chins than a Chinese phone book. There you go. All right, 330-886-0813.
Pizza, chocolate, and Lorna Doone cookies always smell fine.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's those are tasty. That's I wish it was good for me. If it were, then I'd be the healthiest person in the world. Unfortunately, things that are good for you don't taste the way that it's supposed to taste. I mean, if things that were good for me tasted like a pepperoni sausage and black olive pizza, I think I'd be the healthiest person in the world.
Olives don't really smell that good.
No, they're okay. Olives are good. That's solid. Olives on pizza are very underappreciated. That's good stuff right there. I like that. Now, you don't put any of the olive oil on it. You just put the olives on there. That's good stuff.
Garlic butter, though. On the pizza.
Oh, absolutely.
So the crust basically tastes like a garlic breadstick.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't necessarily have to put some things on a pizza. Where if you just put a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic,
some pepper,
some garlic butter on that bad boy, slough it down, put a little bit of pepper on there. Yeah, you can.
Okay, we got off
maybe some banana peppers.
Food tangent. Now I'm just really hungry.
Yeah, exactly. But
and I have to go call a game, and I'm not going to be able to eat.
Hence
until
the reason why I wanted you to go over there and see where what pizza we have in the refrigerator from Pizza Joe's. But then you got this whole damn rat poisoning in my mind. I ain't gonna touch it now. Good Lord.
Good. DJ doesn't want you touching it, and I succeeded.
I just
protected the pizza at all
Good
costs.
night. Now I got to figure out and go, okay, does everything taste like rat poisoning around here? All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. Plenty of stuff on the network tonight. We have D2 and D3 sectional title softball games all over the place. And keep in mind, because of the OHSAA's 25th hour decision.
Sign AA, by the way.
Yeah, 25th hour decision in a 24-hour day to put some interesting attachments to the tournament. We have 2 free games, and we have a quintet of pay-per-view games.
Quintet.
Yeah, well, the free games, a couple of baseball games. JFK will travel to Struthers to take on the Wildcats. That is a 4:45 matchup, and Warren Harding will head to Scene Park to take on Ursuline. That is a 5 o'clock affair. Your pay-per-view games. Salem is at Canfield. Southeast is at Hubbard. Jefferson is at Poland. Springfield at South Range. And Grand Valley will go to Canfield to take on Ursuline. That game would normally be played at Farmers National Bank Field on the campus of Youngstown State. However, the Horizon League tournament is going on right now. So the Ursuline game against Grand Valley will be played at McCune.
Yeah, Lowville is also going to be playing Waterloo on Scene 1. I think we'll have that one covered with Dom on Scene 1 at 5. And then Ursuline will play at... Nope, they're all at 5. So 3 games at Scene, they should all be covered.
Alrighty. So that's the...
Although... Wait a minute. I think Ian... My games the games at a glance might be a little bit... Because it has Ian O'Brien at the Ursuline game at Scene, but he just asked me a couple of minutes ago about Grand Valley, so they might have moved him to... We'll find out. He might have moved... Just keep logged into ysnlive.com/live, because with tournaments going on, we're always kind of shifting announcers around, trying to get people to different places. So I think we'll have that Ursuline Grand Valley game covered from McCune Park. But that might be subject to change.
Okay. So those are the games, and again with the pay-per-view, it's $9.99, but you get access to all of the games for that particular day. So if you're a softball junkie, you can watch as many as 5 games today on the network.
Ron, I did a softball game last night, came home and watched a couple of softball games that night. So
there you go.
Junkie.
From the ACC tournament? Or
well, last night the SEC was playing late into the night because their games are just playing all at the same spot, 35 minutes after another, and one game went long. So Tennessee got the walk-off win in 9 innings, 3-2 over Texas A&M, and then poor Georgia and Kentucky had to wait until about 9 o'clock to even start their game.
Wow.
So
okay. Now, is that double elimination or is that single?
SEC is everyone gets in and it's winner go home.
Okay. So what did you 14 teams?
13. Vanderbilt doesn't have a
13.
softball team.
Okay. So who gets a bye here?
So just 2 teams had to play on the first day.
Okay.
12 and 13 played each other. Everyone else got 1 bye.
Okay.
And then 4 teams got the double bye.
So you get a double bye automatically into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the top 4 seeds. So
wow.
This year was Arkansas, Florida. I'm blanking. I just looked at. They just
LSU.
No, LSU. Missouri is the 4 seed, so they had 4 in the 3 seed. Alabama. I don't know why I missed it. Alabama was 3. So Florida got 1, Arkansas 2, Alabama 3, Missouri 4. They all got the double bye.
Okay.
And then the rest of the teams either played on. Today's Thursday. Played on Tuesday. 2 teams played on Thursday, and then the rest of them played on Wednesday, and then.
Gotcha.
Now
so now we're in the quarterfinals. Okay.
Florida won earlier today to go to the semis, and right now Missouri has a 1-0 lead over LSU.
Okay. All right. And Tennessee is playing whom?
Tennessee will play Arkansas after this LSU game.
Okay. There you go.
So, by the way, Missouri does have a Ohio native, Northeast Ohio native, on their roster, Riley Frizzell, that played at Willoughby South, and we had her on the Hot Corner blog that I run over the summer, and she's a good friend, so go Mizzou. But I also like LSU a lot, so I'm really torn with this SEC tournament because I have friends at LSU that I like to support, and I have now one of my good friends goes to play at Missouri, and I've loved Tennessee for a while since Aaron Gabriel played there, so I'm just like, I went to Texas A&M 2 years ago for the SEC tournament, and I changed in between games because I rooted for LSU, then I rooted for Tennessee, and the looks I got were like, because I can't be missed. I'm in a wheelchair, so there's no that's a different guy.
exactly. But you don't have any Texas A&M gear.
I do have a Texas A&M hat because one of my good friends played at Texas A&M.
Okay, because I haven't seen the A&M hat yet.
I wore it last week with my boardman.
Oh, that's right, you did. Okay, never mind. I stand corrected.
Hats, I have A&M in Arkansas, and then Tennessee, LSU, in Missouri. So
okay,
I'm all over the place in the SEC.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech's always number 1. If they play someone, it's no deals off. But then everything else, I have friends that either coach or play at a lot of other places. So.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right, so there's our games for today on the baseball diamond and on the softball diamond as well. I'll be back tomorrow, noon to 3, for a Friday edition of Running Points, and that'll do it. Power Hour's coming up next.
You know, in the Power Hour, we still have more all YSN softball players to be announced. Day 4. Today and tomorrow, we'll have 10 more announced. So we have 20 players that still haven't been unveiled, so keep an eye on the Power Hour. We'll unveil 10 more today, and exciting. All these players that are getting recognized, so much talent in the first 3 days, and so much more talent to come in the next 2 to be revealed.
Indeed, and good luck to the teams playing in the D2 and D3 sectional title games, and by tomorrow we'll know the entire district lineup. Minus champion. We'll know the entire district lineup for D1 through D4. We'll talk tomorrow, or at least I'll talk tomorrow, noon to 3, for a Friday edition of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Power